People say you don't sleep. I mean, I wish I could be like some of those guys. I think sleeping and eating are a waste of time. I've always said that. As a coaching staff, we demand perfection. We demand them to do it right. We're not afraid to push and push and push and push, and that's what we've done this summer. Why should it burn you out? I mean, I guess burning you out, the real pressure, the real pace, the real get into the season is just now starting.
Intense? Yes, you could say new Gator football coach Ron Zook is intense.
With Coach Spurrier, it's like more of a laid-back type practice, but with Coach Zook, it's energetic, it's moving, it's fast-paced. There's no standing around. If you hear the horn blow, just run. If you don't know where to go, just run somewhere.
In the swamp that Spurrier built, coming in as the new head coach is a tough act to follow. But over 20 years of coaching experience and a positive attitude let Zook turn anxiety into anticipation.
I'm not worried about the legacy. I'm worried about this first football game, and obviously it's very, very important because it is the first game, and right now it's the biggest game in my life.
Zook began his coaching career in 1976 as a head high school coach and has worked his way up over the years. Specializing in defense and special teams, Zook has been an assistant coach with 7 universities, including Florida from 1991 to 95, and 3 NFL franchises, including the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kansas City, and the New Orleans Saints. It is from these experiences Zook has created his own coaching style and made his return to Florida.
And one thing about it, he was in everyone's face, no matter who you was, and he was trying to get the special teams heated up. And he always said, special teams part of the game. And the game broken up into 3 parts. Offense, defense, and special teams. And if you win 2 out of 3, most times you're gonna win the game.
But intense isn't the only way to describe Zook. He's also been called a player's coach, but definitely not because he takes it easy on them.
To me, when they say I'm a player's coach, is that they can talk to me. They know when I go in that locker room after practice that they can talk to me and they can tell me their concerns, and whether it be about football or something else for that matter.
He's excited and I'm excited, and we got a real nice connection. Me and Coach Zook, he's a very, very great coach.
Less than 24 hours away now to find out if Zook has the right combination of intensity and personality to lead the Gators to a conference championship. For Countdown to Kickoff, Allison Hayes, WCJB, TV 20 Sports.
Around the country, many are predicting doom and gloom in the post-Spurrier era. Then there are those who think that Florida will not miss a beat. Here's what some of you had to say.
I can't say much for Miami, but we'll kick Tennessee's butt. FSU, they got some seniors coming up, so I'm not too sure how we'll do, but I'm hoping.
I think the Gators are going to do great this year. The only game that might give them a little bit of trouble is the one with Miami. Miami's a great team, so are the Gators. They should be able to duke it out.
Maybe a 3-loss season, respectable. Probably won't win the SEC this year.
Who do you think is going to win the SEC?
I don't know. I'm trying to think here. Who will win the SEC? Tennessee can't do it. Georgia's not going to do it. I don't know, maybe somewhere out from Arkansas.
Arkansas, huh? Sounds crazy to me, Hank, but then so does a Miami fan going to the University of Florida. Anyway, still to come on Countdown to Kickoff, we're going to get up close and personal with Heisman runner-up Rex Grossman.
We'll also start breaking down the team position by position, starting with the star quarterback and the rest of the offense. Don't go away.
Countdown to Kickoff, a presentation of WCJB TV 20 Sports.
Hank, Ron Zook took the head coaching position at Florida just before National Signing Day.
Yeah, Joe, but before we went out recruiting any high school players, he had to sell 2 current Gators on staying with the program.
Rex Grossman and Taylor Jacobs are back and should form one of the most lethal quarterback-wide receiver combinations in the entire nation. Of course, it all starts under center, and in Grossman, the Gators have last year's Heisman runner-up.
Mike Price has more on Rex Grossman's chances of bringing home the hardware this year.
So it's time for football season to kick off, and like everyone else in the Gator Nation, you're probably rooting for Rex Grossman to win the Heisman. But there are a couple of keys for anyone to win the award, starting with something number 7 was pretty good at, number 11 these days isn't: humility.
Heisman, I'm looking forward to that. It'd be fun to win, but at the same time, it's just not that important to me. And it's only as much pressure as you put on yourself, and I'm not going to put that much pressure on myself to win that award because it's not that important. It's an individual award and a team sport.
And speaking of pressure, that leads us to the next requirement, the ability to show leadership. Rex has already proven he can do that, but this year he says he'll have some help.
They're looking for me to be a leader, but there's a lot of guys on defense, senior guys that are good at that role, and like Mike Natil and Bam Hardman. You know, there's a lot of good leaders on this team.
Of course, the preseason hype is important, but Grossman will still have to put up the numbers, like the 3,800-plus passing yards he had last year. He'll have weapons like wideout Taylor Jacobs, but what about offensive coordinator Ed Zonbrecher's new system?
Coach Zonbrecher's system is just as good as Coach Spurrier's. I think, you know, I feel that, you know, we just got a chance to come out here and show the world, you know, it's not the system, it's the player.
That's what Coach Spurrier does so well. He gets the right plays against the right defenses, and Coach Zonbrecher does that as well. So we'll be successful at that.
Hand in hand with the stats and the teammates, Grossman will have to produce lots of wins. A tall order against a schedule that includes Miami, Tennessee, LSU, and Florida State. But of course, everyone's avoiding that subject for now.
No, you know, the schedule's what it is. There's no use talking about it. You know, Jeremy wouldn't change it if I went in there and asked him to. He couldn't, he can't.
Well, obviously, the UAB game's the most important game, and the only game I'm really going to talk about right now.
Right, Rex. Well, the last requirement you need is a bit of hunger, and after the media picked the Gators to finish third in the SEC East, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Coach Spurrier was here, would you be picked third in the SEC East?
No. I think that's an insult to the coaching staff and even to the players we have here.
So there you have it. All the ingredients are in place for Grossman's Heisman run. All he still needs is a little luck. But we already know he's got that on his side. For Countdown to Kickoff, I'm Mike Price.
Thanks, Mike. Now, in a high-risk, high-reward offense, you better have a good backup quarterback ready to go. And after an impressive orange and blue game, that role belongs to Ingle Martin. He's not the pocket passer Rex Grossman is, but in Ed Zonbrecher's offense, that's okay. Martin would run more option sprint-out type stuff. He did have that solid spring game, but let's face it, the orange and blue isn't exactly Neyland Stadium.
Well, there's a lot of difference between a spring game and playing in the SEC, but if he'll pick up where he left off at the end of the spring, then he's going to put himself in a position to be ready to go in and contribute. The light clicked on for him that last week, and you know, he finally had enough reps to start feeling a little more comfortable with it. And it takes a little while. He's a guy that, you know, basically hasn't played in a game in 2 years, so it's going to take a little while.
Jeff Kreveling is the third string, while Gavin Dickey and Patrick Dosh are set to redshirt. Now, with Ed Zonbrecher as offensive coordinator, it's thought the Gator offense will be more fun and run than in years past. If that's the case, the Gators will have plenty of backs to work with. Of course, senior Ernest Graham will be the feature back. Last season, the Gators were unbeaten with Graham in the lineup. His top backup will be Rand Carthon, a junior who's had a good preseason, looking good in scrimmages. He's a change of pace from Graham, still able to run behind the pads, but also one of the fastest players on the team. Then there's Willie Green, who just wants to stay healthy, and true freshman Seatrick Faison and Deshaun Wynn.
You know, we kind of like it how it is, man. You know, for once, we're probably not the team that everybody's shooting for in the SEC, and you know, and we're just taking it in stride and working hard, and, you know, and have a lot of fun. You know, just proving everybody.
He's number 6 in your program, but Taylor Jacobs will be number 1 when it comes to Rex Grossman's favorite targets this year. The 6', 200-pounder is coming off a 10-catch, 2-touchdown MVP performance in the Orange Bowl. But to avoid double teams, he'll need some help on the other side. And Carlos Perez has solidified his spot as Florida's number 2 wide receiver. Kelvin Kite, Matt Jackson, and O.J. Small are among others to keep an eye on, but it's Perez who's caught his coach's eye.
He's he's attacking the ball. He knows he's got to make an impression on us. But most importantly, he understands that for himself, he's just got to go play. That's the reason he came here. We're going to allow him to do the things that he's capable of doing. Kelvin Kites, you know, he's making some plays here and there, but there's some other guys behind him pushing. Matt Jackson's doing well, really happy with what he's doing, running nice routes, chasing the ball, going after it.
Like running back, tight end could become a bigger part of the Gators' offense this fall. If so, Aaron Walker could have a big year. Backing up Walker will be junior Ben Troop, giving the Gators a pair of weapons at a position that has been a bit underused under Steve Spurrier.
This offense is great. You know, like I said, the media day, it can't get any worse for the tight ends. And, you know, Coach Zonbrecher's done a great job of incorporating the tight end in the offense. And Coach Tolbert's done a great job of helping us with our routes, helping us get open, and we're going to have a great opportunity in the fall.
With just 2 starters returning, there are questions about Florida's offensive line, especially in terms of depth. Max Starks has the all-important job of protecting Rex Grossman's blind side. He moves from right tackle to the left side to replace Jacksonville Jaguar Mike Pearson. Junior Shannon Snell is a preseason all-conference pick at left guard, while redshirt freshman Mike DeGore and sophomores Jonathan Colon and Mo Mitchell must now step up as starters.
Mo and John being the younger guys on the line, you know, and definitely when you get into tight situations, you know, and you're concerned or you just got a penalty, you know, learning how to keep your composure, because, you know, Shannon and I have been through those situations. Trying to coach them through is definitely, you know, one of the things we're going to focus on doing.
That takes care of the offense. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to the defense.
Yeah, Joe, John Thompson came from the University of Arkansas to coach the Gator defense. What does he have to work with? We'll tell you when we come back.
Every good defense starts up front. If linemen aren't doing their jobs, linebackers aren't free to make plays, and defensive backs get hung out to dry.
Fortunately, Joe, Ian Scott is back for his junior year at defensive tackle after a stellar sophomore year.
He is the prototypical story of the local boy done good. But as Joel Hartley reports, good doesn't even begin to describe Ian Scott.
All high schools have a valedictorian, but few have one who is also a top-notch football prospect. In 1999, Gainesville High was one of those schools, with its best student being courted by the nation's top football programs. Ian Scott is a rare find, a student good enough to finish at the top of his class, a defensive tackle good enough to be named High School All-American, and an athlete good enough to also play center on one of the greatest high school basketball teams in state history. Back then, James Spear coached against Scott whenever Gainesville faced Eastside. Now, Spear is a graduate assistant with the Gators and happy to finally have Ian on his side.
What I saw back then was a phenomenal athlete at that size. Had to game plan him on both sides of the ball. Had to pretty much plan your game plan around him, where he was going to be, and you try and run away from him on offense, and defensively, you know, you had to know where he was.
Ian isn't the only member of his family on the Gator football team. Younger brother Alik is a walk-on linebacker and doesn't mind the title of Ian's little brother.
He's a great athlete, and so it's definitely not a bad connotation or whatever else. Some of the guys joke around with me about it, but you know, it's great. I love him to death. He's a great ball player, and I'm glad to be associated with him, but I'm definitely trying to make my own name here.
Alik may never grow out of that title, not with Ian being named preseason All-SEC and on the Outland Trophy watch list as a junior.
It's an honor, but it just means that I got a lot of work to do and just a lot of improving that I need to do personally and just to really help this team to be better. I got a lot more responsibility this year, and hopefully we can all work hard, and you know, I can work hard and do my part to help this team win a lot of football games this year.
When you have a top-notch player, you want him to take the younger guys under his wing, but Ian is the younger guy.
I'm in a different situation because there's a lot of guys older than me this year. There's 5 senior defensive tackles who have been around for a while, and there's not any guys younger than me that are on this defensive line. So I think that I'm in a much different position because I got a lot of guys with a lot of experience.
With all the questions about new faces and new systems, one thing is clear. Florida's success up front starts where the numbers stop, at 99. For Countdown to Kickoff, Joel Hartley, TV 20 Sports.
Thanks, Joel. Ian Scott is as good as it gets at defensive tackle, but he'll need some help. Senior Tron Lefevre started 10 games last season and is ready for a breakout season.
At defensive tackle, there's also plenty of talent. Bobby McRae is a redshirt junior who's expecting a big year after running afoul of team rules during two-a-days. Darrell Lee, a true junior, wants to start living up to all the hype he was given coming out of high school. And Clint Mitchell is also back, just trying to stay out of trouble so he can produce like he did as a redshirt freshman starter.
You're not going to know what we're doing this season. You know, as far as where the blitz is coming from, it can be coming from the cornerback. You wouldn't expect it. You know, we might have like Ian dropping in the middle, you know, defending the pass. We got all kinds of crazy things, you know, but it's all going to help us get better. It's an organized, wacky defense.
Linebackers should be a strength for this Gator defense, certainly on the outside. Bam Hardman and former Newberry High star Mike Natil both bring a lot of experience to the table. They are sure tacklers who can also drop into coverage. Travis Harris should provide quality depth on the outside and, if needed, in the middle as well. That's the big question mark the middle, where Matt Ferrier and Reed Fleming will try to replace Andre Davis.
Those two guys have played a lot. Reed and Matt both have played. It's been a couple of years ago, and they played special teams last year, but they got some snaps behind them and had a real good spring. I think we're going to for sure have some depth, but I feel good about their production in the spring, and I think we're going to be good at middle linebacker.
At defensive back, there's also plenty of quality. Todd Johnson is a returning all-conference performer at free safety, but is also returning from a scary collision with Johnny Lamar just over a week ago. That strong safety, Marquand Manuel, will be replaced by Gus Scott, who seems to spend almost as much time in the offensive backfield as he does in the defensive backfield, recording 7 tackles for loss last season. On the corners, Robert Cromartie returns for his senior year after missing all of last season with a torn pectoral muscle. He was a starter in 2000. Starting on the other side will be Kewan Ratliff, possibly the most exciting player on the team, and this is possibly the strongest unit for the Gators.
I think we have a great situation. I think we have two of the best safeties in the country, Gus and Todd. And Kewan, I think, is if he continues to work hard and stay on the pace he was in the spring, he has a chance to be very good. And y'all know about Robert. Robert's been there. He's been in the big games. He's been to war before.
This year, I think we're going to attack more than defense, attack the offense every play this year. Play a lot more man-to-man, a lot of more blitzes.
That takes care of the defense, and Florida should also be strong on special teams.
With Jerry Odom running that show, they sure won't lack for intensity. Matt Petrovich is back for more booming kickoffs and crunching hits downfield. One of the bigger surprises of fall camp is that Jason Hunter is now the punter. He's a former walk-on. But Hank, the real question mark is place kicker.
Yeah, Joe, it looks like Matt Leach will get the first crack at it ahead of Petrovich and Brent Talcott.
All right, the question is, though, can you replace Jeff Chandler, Florida's all-time leading scorer and a very consistent kicker? Time for us to call timeout. When we come back, I will sit down with head coach Ron Zook.
We've come together as a football team. I think our camp has been very, very successful, and we're looking forward to getting this thing kicked off.
Florida Pest Control's annual home protection plan gives you something nobody else does. A protective barrier applied monthly around the outside of your home to keep bugs from getting in. 12 times the service, less cost. Always just a phone call away. Who knows Florida better than Florida Pest Control? Our family serving yours for over 50 years. At Florida Pest Control, the only bugs we can't control are litter bugs. Call Florida Pest Control today for your free inspection and estimate.
I'll never forget that day. My mom, while closing her store, was beaten, robbed, left for dead. That's why I helped toughen Florida's sentencing laws. Today, no one gets out unless they've served at least 85% of their sentence. And it's why I fought for new laws that say if you harm a child or a senior citizen, there's no early release, ever, period. And that's why I'm running for Attorney General, to keep my mom and every mom safe.
Buddy Dyer.
Leaky pipe on 34th Street. Gotta hurry. Quality Plumbing, where's the leak?
Under the kitchen sink, filled up 3 buckets already.
The trap's corroded, the threads are stripped. I'll take care of it.
Gotta go back to the shop.
Quality Plumbing trucks are stocked with just about every part for any job.
Boy, am I glad I called Quality Plumbing.
And Quality Plumbing appreciates your business.
Just once I want these guys at Subway to talk to me about something besides food. Hey, Scott! Hey, Jim! You know that girl at the pet store? The redhead? She's asking about you.
The one who feeds the lizards and the turtles?
Yeah, you got something you want me to tell her?
Yeah, tell her that right now at Subway for just $7.99, get 2 delicious foot-long sandwiches. That's 2 feet of fresh-made taste for just $7.99. Tasty meats and toppings on fresh-baked bread for just $7.99.
Scott, you don't get out very much, do you?
Subway, eat fresh!
Welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff. It is now my pleasure to welcome in Ron Zook, the new head coach of the Gator football program. That has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? What do you think?
I'm excited about it. Obviously, tomorrow's a big day, and we're looking forward to getting started.
Now, how does it feel to be following in the path of a legend like Steve Spurrier? What's that been like for you?
Well, you know, I haven't thought a lot about that. I mean, I've got the opportunity to be the head football coach at the University of Florida, and it's a great challenge. It's a great opportunity, and our staff and our players are excited about it, and I'm looking forward to getting going.
You certainly didn't leave the cupboard bare. You got players all over the field. Talk about the talent that returns to this football program.
We just like, you know, it's been in the past, there are a lot of good football players on our football team, and obviously we're going to need all of them, and as I've told them throughout the camp is, you know, it's not necessarily the best players that win, it's the best team that wins, and that's the big thing. We've come together as a football team. I think our camp has been very, very successful, and, you know, we're looking forward to getting this thing kicked off.
Let me ask you about the staff that you've surrounded yourself with. Are these guys similar to you in that they're go, 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 boundless energy?
Well, you know, I don't want them all to be like me. I think you have to have guys that they have to be themselves. And, you know, I've said it, you know, hundreds and hundreds of times. You know, I have to be Ron Zook. I can't be anybody else. And, you know, our staff, they have to be who they are. And, you know, I've hired them because of who they are. They're excellent football coaches. They're excellent teachers. They're excellent people, excellent recruiters. And they feel the same way about the University of Florida as I do. They're honored and privileged to be here.
It all starts with the offense when you talk about the University of Florida. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of some of the players. You got to begin with Rex Grossman, Taylor Jacobs, the passing game. How do you like the way it's shaping up?
I think not only do I like it, but I think Rex and Taylor like it also, and that's very, very important. And but we do have a lot of weapons there with Rex and Taylor. You know, Rex is getting more and more comfortable. I mean, once again, you know, with the spring practice, you get 15 practice, you get 29 practice opportunities going into your first game. So, you know, there's not a lot of time that we've had in it, but they feel comfortable with what we're doing, and they're excited.
How about the running game? A little bit different than years past. What are some of the things that we can expect?
Well, it is different. I think you know, you can expect to see both Ernest and Rand Carthon running the football, and they realize that, hey, we got a chance to be a good running football team as well. And I think the good thing about that is Rex feels like, hey, that'll take a little pressure off of him as well too. So we said it from the beginning. We want to be able to run the football. It's not that we're a running football team, but we want to be able to run the football. But, you know, obviously we're going to do whatever the defense gives us.
Tight end is a position where Gator fans always seem to talk a lot about it in August, but by September the conversation's coming to a close. How can Aaron Walker and Ben Troop help this football team?
We've talked about it all through the spring and also through summer camp, that we got to get those two guys involved. Both of them are excellent athletes, they're excellent football players, and they're weapons. They're guys that they will force a defense to have to contend with them. So you got those guys on the field, we have to use them. We have to make people defend them.
How about the guys up front? Looks like a good starting core. Is depth a problem, a concern?
Depth is a little bit of a problem, but I think, you know, you're always going to have somewhere on your football team where depth's a concern. I think probably more than depth is a concern is a little bit of experience. You know, you can't buy experience. You have to go out and play. And but I really feel good about the way they've come together. And you know, Joe Wickline has done an excellent job with them. And they got confidence. They're excited. Rex has confidence in them, and the running backs obviously have confidence in them. So, you know, we're looking forward to it.
All right, time to call a quick timeout. When we come back, we're talking defense and expectations for the 2002 season. Don't go away.
Buy today at Rhodes Labor Day event with absolutely no down payment, no monthly payment, and no interest. You have nothing to pay. Not now, not next year, not until 2004.
Palm Chevrolet announces 0% financing for 5 years on brand new Chevrolets. That's 0 for 5 at Palm Chevrolet. New Chevy cars, 0%. New Chevy trucks, 0% or up to $3,000 cash back. Palm Chevrolet, easy to deal with and easy to buy from, especially at 0% for 5 years.
It's so easy to buy from Palm.
Palm Chevrolet, Ocala.
Before I became an attorney, I spent 10 years as a nurse and nursing instructor. I know how important quality care is to a patient's comfort and dignity. Unfortunately, some nursing homes today do not even follow minimum standards of care. If you believe someone you love has been mistreated, abused, or neglected, call me, Sylvia Stripling, at the law firm of Stripling, McMichael, and Stripling. We can help because we understand.
Working on the rollbacks, prices going down, down. Working on the rollbacks, whoop, another goes down. Working on the rollbacks, prices going down, down. Working on the rollbacks, whoop, another goes down.
Get the Walmart rollbacks. Working hard to save you even more.
Working,
always.
Working.
Gentlemen, start your engines. The race is on. It's the Gatorland 350. The race to sell 350 new and pre-owned vehicles in 31 days. Get the best prices and deals Gatorland Toyota Acura Kia has ever offered. 03 Corollas from $199 a month. 02 Kia Rios from $99 a month. 02 Acura TLs from $299 a month. Rebates up to $3,000. Financing as low as 0%. Gatorland Toyota Acura Kia is out to smash their all-time sales record and sell 350 vehicles. Gatorland Toyota Acura Kia, North Main Street in Gainesville.
Buy today at Rhodes Labor Day event with absolutely no down payment, no monthly payment, and no interest. You have nothing to pay. Not now, not next year, not until 2004.
Welcome back. Round two here with head coach Ron Zook. And coach, let's talk about the defensive side of the football. Ian Scott is a tremendous place to start up front. What about the rest of the defensive line?
That's the one place where we feel like we got a little depth, and obviously a little depth along with guys that got a little experience, and they play fast. I think the one thing about our system kind of plays into what they do, and that's the exciting thing. I mean, we're not the biggest up front, but we are guys that run pretty well. We're not small, but we run. That's one of our traits, and this defense kind of lends to that, and so it's a fun defense for them to play.
The linebacking core looks very solid, depth, experience on the outside. What about middle linebacker? Are you happy with where Matt Ferrier and Reed Fleming are right now?
Really are. Reed had a little problem with his knee there last week or the last week of camp, but we feel good about where they're at right now. Obviously, the depth is a little bit of a problem there also, but we got some young guys that are going to come along, and we just once again those guys, we got the front guys will keep the linemen off of them. We'll let them run.
And it looks like the secondary will be a strength, especially when you talk about those two safeties.
They're very experienced guys, both Todd and Gus, and they're guys back there. They're leaders. They get people lined up, and so we feel good. Our offense has thrown enough at them that they've seen just about everything there is to see.
Special teams is an area of, affection for you, I guess you could say, something near and dear to your heart. How important is that aspect of the game to you, and what are some of the things that we can expect from Jerry Odom's group?
Well, Jerry's done a great job with them this camp, and also obviously in the spring, and I think you're going to see a lot of energy. You're going to see guys playing fast. We've talked about it from the beginning. Hey, we're going to be an attacking offense, attacking defense, and attacking special teams, and our guys have bought into that, and they're excited. They're looking forward to it, and they know that they're going to have a big part in every game that we play.
The University of Alabama-Birmingham tomorrow with the Swamp. What can you tell me about the Blazers?
A very well-coached football team, a team that, that as I said from the beginning, that we've got to be ready to play. They went into LSU 2 years ago and beat them, so they're a very, very capable football team. They were 5th in the nation in defense last year. I've coached against Coach Watson Brown, actually my first job in college when he was the head coach at Austin Peay, and that is, as I said, a very, very well-coached football team that we're going to have to be ready to play.
And it doesn't get any easier from there. Miami, Tennessee, Florida State, the rest of the SEC. How about the schedule that's in place?
Well, the schedule's what it is. We're going to play them one at a time, and it starts tomorrow, and we're looking forward to getting started.
Okay, let's talk about expectations for this season. What are some of the goals that you have for your first year?
Well, we have goals as a football team, and those are things that we kind of have, kind of keep within ourselves. But the one thing we want to do as a football team, we want to continue to get better every time we step on the field. As you've heard a lot of coaches say, you prepare and plan to win every single football game. And there's a lot of things that's going to happen during the course of a season. Every football team is going to have its share of adversity, and during a game and during a season, and how we handle those things is going to have a lot to determine, what kind of football team we're going to be. But I'm looking forward to it. I think our players are looking forward to it. And once again, in terms of expectations, we're going to try to do the best that we possibly can.
And let's finalize things. We'll cut right to the chase. Can this team contend for the conference championship? Potentially a national championship?
I really don't want to get into that. As I said before, and I said many times, I'm worried about one game at a time, and I think if we stay focused on what we can control, and that's one game at a time, then the rest of things are going to fall the way they may.
All right. Ron Zook, thanks so much for your time. Wish you all the best of luck this season.
Thank you.
We're coming back on Countdown to Kickoff. We'll wrap this thing up in a minute. Stick around.
All right, Joe, we won't move a muscle. When we come back, we'll go through Florida's schedule game by game. And later, Steve Russell will join us with his always unique perspective on tomorrow's season opener. The Gator Insider is coming up. Don't go away.
Home equity loans from M&S Bank are 4 3/4% with no closing costs. Remodel, pay off credit cards, take a vacation. It's easy with a home equity loan from M&S Bank. 4 3/4% with no closing costs. M&S Bank, money and service since 1959.
Spending time outdoors with your family is important. Florida Pest Control takes the guesswork out of keeping your lawn insect and disease free. Our treatments target pests when they're most active. And because Florida's sandy soils lack nutrients, we now custom fertilize 6 times a year. Our increased service means you have a healthy lawn all year long. After all, who knows Florida better than Florida Pest Control? The only bugs we can't control are litter bugs. Call Florida Pest Control today for your free inspection and estimate.
Got a call on 61st Street. Sounds like a water heater problem. Quality Plumbing, ma'am. What seems to be the problem?
There's no hot water. We can't shower, do laundry, or the dishes.
Not to worry, ma'am. Let's take a look. Here's the problem, ma'am. The thermocouple is burnt out. I can have this fixed in short order. It's a good thing we carry so many parts on our trucks.
Thanks, Quality Plumbing. I'm glad I called you.
And Quality Plumbing appreciates your business.
After the procedure, you get these free breadsticks.
Here are your free cheese sticks. It's promotional.
Here's your dry cleaning. Oh, and don't forget your free cheese sticks.
Everyone's giving away free cheese sticks. But only at Pizza Hut can you get the unbelievably huge, extra-large Big New Yorker pizza for $9.99 with free cheese sticks or breadsticks.
Who's getting grease on these cheese sticks? Sorry about that.
The enormous Big New Yorker and free cheese sticks or breadsticks at Pizza Hut.
Looking for a safe port in this financial storm? Open a Rate Watcher CD at M&S Bank. When rates go up, take a bump to that higher interest rate. 1 bump on 3-year CDs, 2 bumps on 5-year CDs. M&S Bank. Money and service since 1959.
We're back, coming to you from the swamp, where tomorrow, right here, the Gator football team will kick off the 2002 campaign against the University of Alabama-Birmingham.
Yeah, Joe, once again, the Gators will play one of the toughest schedules in the country, including 4 schools in AP's top 10. It all starts with, as you were saying, Joe, Alabama-Birmingham. Then the preseason #1 in everyone's poll, the defending national champion Miami Hurricanes, come to town. Then it's a cupcake with Ohio before traveling to Knoxville to take on the Mighty Vols before coming back home for a game against Kentucky.
In October, there are just 3 games on the schedule, starting with a trip to Oxford, Mississippi to see Eli Manning and the Rebels. Then it's back home for 2 games, first against defending SEC champ LSU, then a revenge game a week later against Auburn.
Then they'll take 2 weeks to prepare for the world's largest outdoor cocktail party against Georgia in Jacksonville. Then it's Vanderbilt on the road before facing South Carolina in the swamp, finishing off the regular season as usual with Florida State, this time in Tallahassee.
No matter who you talk to, though, generally speaking, Gator fans will ask you one question up front. What do you think about that Miami game? Talk about eagerly anticipated. This one will be a Sunshine State showdown. The last time they met, the 2001 Sugar Bowl, Hurricanes reigned supreme that night. And you know I'm not talking about the cocktails at Pat O'Brien's on Bourbon Street either. Gainesville native Clinton Portis put up some nice numbers as Miami won 37-27. But this is a much different group of Canes and certainly a far cry from last year's national championship club. Still, Ron Zook says week 2 won't make or break Florida's season.
I don't think one game, or you know, for that matter, one season is going to be a defining moment. I mean, we got a lot of football to play here, and you know, this program has been very, very successful for a lot of years, and there's been a lot of great players to come through here, and there's no reason to think it's not going to continue.
After what should be a cakewalk against the University of Ohio in Week 3, the Gators must then gear up for a trip to Knoxville. Always a pivotal game in the SEC East, but this year Florida really has something to prove. The Volunteers manhandled the Gators last year as Travis Stevens ran over, around, and through the orange and blue on his way to 226 yards, the second most ever given up by the Gator D. Stevens is gone, but so is any mental block the Vols may have had when they faced Florida. Linebacker Eddie Moore says last year's victory was crucial to future success.
I think it really was. I think it was like, I don't know, we just need to come out and play confident. And I think, to tell you the truth, the media gave us a little extra motivation when they picked us like 20 points or something, the underdogs. And we just like to say thank you for that, but it kind of helped us out a lot.
We'll see if it helps them this year, but to be honest with you, I don't think they'll need it. That is one game I think Gator fans should be very worried about. A game Florida fans should not be worried about will take place the next week. The Gators will return home to play Kentucky on September 28th. Last season, Florida won by 34 up in Lexington, and I'd be surprised if this year's game stays that close. Sure, the Wildcats have a mountain of a quarterback in Jared Lorenzen, but talent around him is at a premium, and with NCAA-imposed scholarship limitations, the Cats have very little depth.
Well, it's a concern, a big concern, the depth and, of course, injuries. If we can stay relatively injury-free, then I think we'll be fine. If we get hit hard in any one particular area, it could hurt us, no question.
The Gators start October on the road. For the first time since 1994, Florida will travel to Oxford, Mississippi. The Rebels are led by the latest in a long line of Manning quarterbacks, Peyton's little brother Eli, a starter in all 11 games last year, putting up some huge numbers, including Ole Miss single-season records for attempts, completions, yards, and touchdowns. Whether his father likes it or not, with the Florida game, Eli has a great chance to showcase his skills for the Heisman Trophy, but he knows it won't be easy against the Gators.
It's going to be a tough team. They've always had great ability, and they're going to be a tough team to play, but I think we're going to try our best to compete with them, and we're going to have an off week before we play them, so we're going to have to watch a lot of film and do our studying, and hopefully we'll catch them on a good day.
That's a game that scares some Gator fans, Hank. No doubt Ole Miss can put some points on the board. The question is whether or not they can stop anybody.
Should be a high-scoring affair, no doubt about it.
All right, we are halfway through Florida's schedule.
And when we come back, a look at LSU and Auburn, not to mention Vandy and South Carolina, and of course the big one in Tallahassee. Can Florida make it 2 in a row over the Seminoles? We'll talk about it right after this.
We continue our look at Florida's schedule with defending conference champ LSU.
Yeah, Joe, Florida beat LSU in Baton Rouge 44-15, but LSU came back to win 8 of their last 9 games, including a 31-20 win over Tennessee in the SEC championship game, which had balls, fans, and shot. Back on offense for the Tigers is running back LeBrandon Tofield, who's the leading returning rusher in the SEC and should carry a big load again this year.
I think we're going to be more of a run pass first. You know, a run first, then pass, but we want to have the mindset that we're chasing somebody else. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be chasing us, but we want to go into camp thinking that we haven't won anything.
Now, one game you can bet Gator fans are circling on their schedule is Auburn. Remember, last year, Auburn beat the Gators with a last-second field goal. This year, the Tigers come to Gainesville, returning just 9 starters on offense and defense, yet Tommy Tuberville expects his team to make a stronger run at the SEC West crown this year.
We all have something to prove. We proved that we can, we proved that we can compete with most every team. Now we have to be a lot more consistent. We lost a little bit of focus. We probably thought we were better than what we were after we beat a Florida team that was putting 50 points on everybody, and we hit a point where we probably got a little bit more confidence in ourselves than what we should have had, and we weren't quite as hungry.
Since 1990, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party hasn't been a whole lot of fun for the Georgia Bulldogs, but in Mark Richt's second year, fans in Athens are barking up a storm, and so, unfortunately, is TV20's Kevin Wizzardo.
As a University of Georgia graduate, I was a little bit skeptical about moving to Gainesville last winter, but a funny thing happened on the way back from paying my security deposit. Steve Spurrier quit. Coincidence? Well, maybe. But Spurrier or not, it looks like Georgia may have what it takes to make its first run at an SEC title in 2 decades.
Just to set the record straight, as many people that said Georgia should win the East, probably just as many probably say we're going to be 4th in the East.
But Georgia could be first when it comes to quarterback tandems. The Dogs have 2 talented signal callers. And head coach Mark Richt says 2001's SEC Freshman of the Year David Green and redshirt freshman DJ Shockley will both see action.
The fact that their styles contrast one another, I think that's going to be helpful for us to cause more problems for people defensively.
Richt also wants to cause problems with his running game. Georgia hopes Musa Smith is the scat back the Bulldogs offense needs.
He's really a game breaker, and when he stays healthy, he really changes the momentum of things.
Momentum will be defined largely by a talented receiving corps. Starters Fred Gibson, Terrence Edwards, and Damian Gary are all back with plenty of depth behind them. On defense, Georgia lost 7 starters, but the replacements have seen a lot of action.
I think we're going to be fine because, those guys are experienced and they're actually, very hungry and ready to play.
It all adds up to what could be the most exciting Georgia-Florida game in years under the lights in Jacksonville.
You can only imagine what it's going to be like, all those fans tailgating for, about 8 hours or 10 hours before the game even starts. So, it's going to be an unbelievable time.
Believe this, Gator fans. Don't expect your trip to Jacksonville this year to be as much fun as the last few. In fact, I'm so confident that if the Gators do pull the upset, I'll wear orange and blue. If not, Joe, you got to wear the red and black.
Don't count on it, Wuzzy. The Bulldogs are the most overrated team this side of the University of Miami. bank it. The Gators make it 12 out of the last 13, November 2nd in Jacksonville.
In Nashville, new Vanderbilt head coach Bobby Johnson has his work cut out for him. He takes over a program which has had just one winning season in the last 25 years. In fact, they're still the only original member of the SEC without a conference championship, and Johnson knows his task will not be easy.
You know, it might be one of the hardest ones to try to have a consistently winning program in, but it's really a lot of fun and easy to coach at Vanderbilt because I think it's fun to coach quality student athletes.
The Gators will return to the Swamp for a homecoming against South Carolina on November 16th. The Gamecocks will have an axe to grind when they get to Gainesville. Florida waxed SC 54-17 last season in what may have been the biggest game in Gamecock history. So revenge will definitely be a factor this time around.
No one likes to get beat, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say, yeah, I can't wait to get back after them because, like I said, you got to take it one game at a time. But they're still going to be a deadly team. You know, they still have all the talent in the world. We can't look at it and say Spurrier's not there. So we can get them the way we want to. We're going to have to go out there with our A game.
This year, Ron Zook will try to do what Steve Spurrier could not, win in Tallahassee. As usual, the Gators will end their regular season with perennial power Florida State. The Noles are coming off their worst year in decades, finishing 8-4, one of those losses coming in Gainesville. But Bobby Bowden has 15 starters returning, including their entire offensive line. And most importantly for Bowden, quarterback Chris Ricks has a year of experience under his belt.
You know, you just hope he can pick up where he left off. In other words, you look back at our season, you remember the North Carolina game where he fumbled 4 times or something like that. Then you remember the Miami game where we fumbled a couple of times and threw interceptions into their hands. And then you remember the NC State game where we threw interceptions and things. And then you remember the last couple of games where he really did a great job and played like an All-American, you know. You hope that he can pick up where he left off and just improve from there.
Prime time in Tallahassee. That should be a whole lot of fun. We'll have it for you live right here on TV 20. And Hank, we'll see if Ron Zook can do something in his first season that Steve Spurrier never did, beat the Noles in Tallahassee.
Okay, still to come, Steve Russell gives us his unique take on tomorrow's season opener with Alabama-Birmingham. His Gator Insider is next. Don't go away.
Home equity loans from M&S Bank are 4 3/4% with no closing costs. Remodel, pay off credit cards, take a vacation. It's easy with a home equity loan from M&S Bank. 4 3/4% with no closing costs. M&S Bank, money and service since 1959.
Leaky pipe on 34th Street. Gotta hurry. Quality Plumbing, where's the leak?
Under the kitchen sink, filled up 3 buckets already.
The trap's corroded, the threads are stripped. I'll take care of it.
Gotta go back to the shop.
Quality Plumbing trucks are stocked with just about every part for any job.
Boy, am I glad I called Quality Plumbing.
And Quality Plumbing appreciates your business.
Advances in pest control keep roaches out of your home, but ants have become a major problem. Homes are built on and around ant colonies. Your food and water can become an all-you-can-eat buffet. If you have ants in your home or fire ants in your yard, Florida Pest Control has the answer. After 50 years, who knows Florida better than Florida Pest Control? The only bugs we can't control are litter bugs. Call Florida Pest Control today for your free inspection and estimate.
Look at Hyundai's summer sell down. You'll see a great price on the Sonata, the car named best in class for vehicle satisfaction. And look at all these standard features, including air conditioning, all for just $16,494, including automatic transmission. Now look at the freedom of America's best warranty, and it's clear, if you're looking at Camry, you've got to test drive the car that gives you more for thousands less. The Hyundai Sonata. Hyundai dealers, helping kids fight cancer.
Looking for a safe port in this financial storm? Open a Rate Watcher CD at M&S Bank. When rates go up, take a bump to that higher interest rate. 1 bump on 3-year CDs, 2 bumps on 5-year CDs. M&S Bank, money and service since 1959.
We are less than 24 hours away from kicking this thing off. Tomorrow, right here at the Swamp, the Gators will go at it with the University of Alabama-Birmingham.
And to get you ready, back for another year, Steve Russell and his Gator Insider.
It isn't very often you get to see the start of an era, but that's exactly what Gator fans will see this Saturday when the Ron Zook era kicks off in the Swamp. against Alabama-Birmingham. It was a similar situation back in 1990 when a then unproven head coach in Steve Spurrier beat Oklahoma State, and obviously the rest is history. Gator fans are excited, the players are excited, and Coach Zook is excited too.
Our guys are excited about playing this football game and showing people that, hey, the University of Florida is going to continue on. And I mean, obviously, as I've told them, several times, everyone in our room has something to prove. Obviously, I have something to prove, our staff has something to prove, and our players have something to prove. And I think when you have something to prove, you work a little bit harder and you focus a little bit more. And that's kind of the exciting thing about it.
A big question among Gator fans is, how is Ron Zook, the emotional guy that he is, going to react coming out of the tunnel? Here's a sneak peek.
When you come out of the swamp, you come out of that tunnel and you see all the fans and at the University of Florida. I mean, that's what makes the University of Florida the best job in football. And it is exciting. And when I was here before, I didn't come out with a team. I wanted to come out early and not not go through all that emotional part of it. But it'll be exciting, and our players will be excited. And once again, that's what it's all about.
Obviously, the fans want to win, the coaches want to win, and the players want to win as well. Defensive lineman Ian Scott hopes the Gators do well for their team and for Coach Zook.
I think as players, it's very important for us to do that, and just because we're competitors and we want to be able to prove to ourselves and to everybody else that we can play football, and that's something that we've worked real hard for in the offseason, something that we're going to continue to work hard for. If we can benefit Coach Zook in the process by, helping him to, just to really be able to be confident and people to be confident in him, then that's something that we're definitely going to try to do, because we appreciate the approach that he's taken to helping this team win football games, and we want to do everything that we can for him and for this program to help it to be as successful as it has been in the past.
Obviously, the Steve Spurrier era was the most successful in Gator football history. As you can see, several SEC titles and a national championship, too. We'll get to see how the Ron Zook era might be starting tomorrow. With the Gator Insider, Steve Russell, TV 20 Sports.
Thanks, Steve. We've now hit the 2-minute warning on Countdown to Kickoff.
When we return, our predictions on how Ron Zook will do in his first year as the Gators head coach. Don't go away.
It is brought to you by M&S Bank, Florida Pest Control, Quality Plumbing, and Stripling, McMichael and Stripling.
Okay, we've told you about the new head coach, the new offense, the new defense, the new special teams, and that brutal schedule that lies ahead.
And now it's time for our fearless and usually not too accurate predictions. Remember, a year ago, Joe, we were both in agreement that the Gators would win it all as the preseason #1.
Well, they did finish #3, but I'll always wonder, Hank, what could have been had Rand Carthon played up at Auburn. But the past is merely prologue. As for this season, I think the Gators can handle the Hurricanes. Knoxville is another story, though. I think Florida will have a tough time in Tennessee. Tallahassee is a toss-up, and in the middle, that rough SEC schedule, and I think Florida will lose one of those along the way. So to put a number on it, 9-3.
Yeah, Joe, again, we are in agreement. I think 9-3 is a realistic goal for Gator fans, since Ron Zook's first-year schedule is brutal. So I think they will go to a New Year's Day bowl game.
All right, that's it for Countdown to Kickoff. Thanks so much for joining us. For our producer, Becky Clapp, as well as our reporters, Mike Price, Allison Hayes, Joel Hartley, and our creative services staff, Travis Chapman and Kevin Knighton, everybody at TV 20, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Joe Gervin. He's Hank Estengo. We'll see you tomorrow at the Swamp.
Bye.
From Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Florida Field on the campus of the University of Florida, Ron Zook's Gators take to the field to open the 2002 season of Breakfast with the Gators. And what an exciting and highly anticipated season it's going to be here in Gator Country, as opening day has arrived with the Gators taking on the Blazers of UAB. Hello, everyone. Along with Nat Moore, I'm Larry Vitale. Welcome to Breakfast with the Gators and the Blazers of UAB. And Nat, when you talk about the Gators in recent years, great receivers moving on, great receivers moving in, and that's another storyline as we begin 2002.
Well, Larry, you're right. Number 6, Taylor Jacobs, last year caught 38 balls for over 18.7 yards per catch, 7 touchdowns. In the Maryland game, had his breakout year as he caught 10 balls for 170 yards and just really got the Gators going last year in the last game of the season in the bowl game. This is a guy that, as Rex Grossman starts to look and find a favorite target, expect for this guy right here on your screen to become that guy. He can do it all. He's a speedster and has great hands.
and he's got big shoes to fill. When you talk about guys that have moved on, Jabbar Gaffney and Rashae Caldwell were just amazing for the Gators.
And I love the way you said that, Larry. Shoes, plural. When you talk about Rashae Caldwell and Jabbar Gaffney, these are guys that gave you 23 touchdowns last year. It gave you an average of over 205 yards receiving per ball game. And when these guys leave, it's going to be very important that some other guys step up. You got Vernell Brown, a redshirt freshman. You've got Carlos Perez, Kelvin Kite. All of these guys have got to come up big, and when you can't get the ball to these guys, expect them to go back to Taylor Jacobs, of course. It's amazing. I get so excitable at times I forget who it is.
Well, things are changing on the other side of the ball for the Florida Gators as well. What about the defense? Let's go down to the field and Steve Babick about the Gator D. Florida Gators, and Kewan Ratliff takes it out to the 21-yard line. And that's where the Gators will go on offense. Head coach Ron Zook talking to number 1 as he heads back over there. Ron Zook, of course, was a tremendous special teams coach for the Florida Gators as well. Rex Grossman, great numbers last year, 3,896 yards. That, of course, does not include a bowl game in which he threw for another 200+. And he gets to get the Gator offense started from the 21, and they'll go right to the air. And he'll go deep down the left sideline. Jump ball, Jacobs has got it. And he's down to the 21-yard line. So from the 21 to the 21, 58 yards.
Well, Larry, we started out talking about Taylor Jacobs, and I got so excited I couldn't get his name out because I knew this play was coming. Rex Grossman going to Taylor Jacobs, where he goes up over Carlos Hendricks and just takes the ball away for a big gain. This is what's so important about the Gator receivers. They're all acrobatic, and they will go up and fight for the football.
And now you see the shotgun with the one back there, and they will run out of that quite a bit. In fact, right now they run out of it, and Ernest Graham gets about 6 as he gets close to the 15-yard line. Let's check out the offense for the Florida Gators in this season opener. There you see number 5, the Gator tailback, closing in on 2,000 career rushing yards. Up the rest of the backs and receivers. Keep an eye on Aaron Walker, number 82, the tight end. Had a very good preseason, a very good spring. And, of course, Perez, Jacobs, Ray Snell, the fullback, when the Gators have a fullback in the lineup. Right now it's 4 receivers and Graham in, along with Grossman, who changes things at the line of scrimmage. Still plenty of time on the play clock. Grossman sets up and fires too high. Jacobs kind of posted up at the goal line. It was incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 5 for the Gators at the 16-yard line. Up front, the big fellas, and it is a big offensive line for the Gators. They average well over 300 with Snell, DeGore, Cologne Mitchell, and Max Starks, the starter at right tackle last year, switching over to the left spot, replacing Mike Pearson and protecting the backside, the blind side of the Gator quarterback. Florida trying to make an opening statement by scoring on the first possession of 2002. Grossman, plenty of time, fires for the corner. Perez makes a catch inside the 5. It's 1st and goal.
Well, Larry, the Blazers come with a blitz. Ernest Graham comes over to the right side, picks up the blitzing corner, gives Grossman opportunity to get this football to Carlos Perez running a corner route. Good protection up front by the big boys. And there, nice grab as Perez catches the ball right on the fingertips.
And Perez heads to the sideline along with Taylor Jacobs. So Florida's going with big fellas. Double tight end Ben Troop at number 84 has checked into the lineup along with Willie Green and Ray Snell as Snell comes in motion. Graham gets the carry. Graham gets the touchdown. There's a flag on the play.
Let's go back and take a look at it. Good lead block by Willie Green. In other words, Willie Green actually, Larry, just sort of got in the way as Ernest Graham, once he saw the goal line, just lowered his shoulders and ran over 2 defenders for the Blazers.
Well, Florida splits the team all over the place. Looks like a convoluted Emery and Henry formation to start the first extra point, but the kick is up and it is true. So Matt Leach, who punted last year for the Florida Gators, gets the first extra point opportunity. And the Gators have struck with authority on their first possession of the 2002 season, traveling 79 yards for a score in an early 7-0 lead.
Precision, performance, perfection. Expect no less from yourself or the leader in sports medicine and orthopedics. Ranked among America's best hospitals, Florida Hospital performs more orthopedic surgeries than anyone in Florida. We know what it takes to get you back in the game. That's why the Orlando Magic, the Orlando Miracle, Disney's Wide World of Sports, and Florida Citrus Sports have all made Florida Hospital their official hospital of choice. Excellence. It's in our bones.
UCF is ready for the Mid-American Conference, developing new rivalries, competing for a championship, and the opportunity to play in a major bowl game. UCF Golden Knights on Sunshine Network. Get ready for Maction.
Look what a little bit of Toyota clearance can get you.
A little bit of Forerunner in my life. A little bit of RAV4 by my side.
Toyota's clearance means a lot of value in SUVs. Check out Sequoia, Highlander, RAV4, and don't miss the final week of incredible savings on the legendary Forerunner. Hurry in for 0.0% APR financing for 24 months or $1,250 cash back on Forerunner. Now through September 3rd only. Get to Toyota's nationwide clearance today.
I'm Jimmy Rain, and this is my friend Matthew Murphy. You know, few things in a young person's life are more important than a good college education. That's why the Jimmy Rain Foundation was established, to help raise money for scholarship assistance to deserving young high school seniors like Matthew. It's been said that education is a debt we owe to future generations. Well, the Jimmy Rain Foundation is proud to have made its first installment.
Didn't take long for Ed Zonbrecker to show his stuff as the Gators go the length of the field, and as we talked at the top, Ernest Graham getting the ball.
Just a nice job of blocking up front by the big guys. Lead block by Willie Green, and then Ernest Graham not being denied. He just bowled over. Big hole as you get good blocking up front by Jonathan Colon as well as David Jorgensen to open up the hole. Aaron Walker on the right side. Just tremendous blocking by the O-line.
And for Ernest Graham, the 23rd rushing touchdown of his Gator career. And Ron Zook's got his guys huddled around him, getting ready to go back out on kick coverage. And there's Watson Brown, the head coach of the Blazers of UAB. Watson Brown does have one notable victory as a head coach at Vandy the last time Vanderbilt beat the Florida Gators.
Well, that was a long time ago, Larry.
Yes, it was. It was the Emmitt Smith era Gators without Emmitt, which was not a nice combo. Gators do it in a hurry. 5 plays, 79 yards, and 1:28 to get on the scoreboard. And Coach Zook checks off, okay, goal number 1, take the ball and score it. Accomplished.
But you know what's so beautiful about that, Larry? The balance in the attack. Couple passes, 2 or 3 runs. You know, that's what you strive for as you start to put this new offense together.
Matt Petrovich will kick off, and he is unlike any kicker you'll see. As if you've paid attention, this guy gets down the field looking to make a hit. Jason Southall makes the catch at about the 3-yard line, and number 3 has run out of bounds at the 21, maybe the 22-yard line. Matt Jackson, backup wide receiver on kick coverage for the Florida Gators, makes the tackle. And UAB will go on offense already on the short end of a 7-0 score as Thomas Cox gets the play call from his head coach last season. Cox, who is a very, very good runner, was about 43% passing the ball, 4 touchdowns, 6 INTs. but had over 400 net yards as a runner. They were a veer team. They were a little more pro style last year. Gators expect a little bit of everything as we see John Thompson's defense for the first time. They run inside and breaking out of containment. Kendall Gibson, the big fullback, rumbles across the 40, and he's got 22 yards on the first snap of the season for the Blazers. Up front, let's take a look at the offense for UAB, and there you see the backs of receivers: Dudley, Quinney, Borders, White, and Hampton. Theron Dudley, an all-freshman pick in Conference USA a year ago. He's really got to carry the load this year. On the offensive line, Spencer, Larry, Tuck, Coachman, and Wykirk. Tuck walked on from Pelham, Alabama, just south of Birmingham, and is now beginning his third year as a starter and will letter all 4 years of his career. On a little counter, and Dudley scrambles close to the line of scrimmage, and that's all he got as he was submerged by the middle part of the Florida Gator defensive line. Mojo, Scott Savalio, and Lee. Ian Scott, preseason all-conference, getting all-American mention as well. Florida also boasts an experienced linebacking core with Hardman, Ferrier, and Mike Natile from just 10 miles away in the town of Newberry. And the secondary, we talked about Cromartie, Gus Scott, Kewan Ratliff, and two-time All-SEC performer Todd Johnson. That's the defense for John Thompson, who comes over from Arkansas with one of the best reputations in the business on that side of the ball. On 2nd and 10, we see our first little running action from Cox, and he cuts it inside and is very close to a first down in the Gator territory, close to the 47-yard line.
Thomas Cox last year, Larry, ran for 4.4 yards every time he touched the football and 5 touchdowns. So you can expect a lot of this, faking the balls to the back, trying to get some misdirection, and coming out, as you see here, picking up big yardage, making it 3rd and short.
And give credit to the tight end who just took that strong side linebacker and pushed him 8 yards downfield. They're about a foot shy of the first down at the 47. 3rd down, maybe the length of the football. And he takes it himself, and he gets it himself. Needed a foot, got a yard.
But that'll hurt his yards per carry average.
I'm not thinking he's worrying about that right now. Just a guess.
It's early. It's early.
7-0, Florida on top. The Gators scoring in 5 plays to start the new season. And now John Thompson's defense trying to get the ball back. As a couple of first downs have been accomplished by the Blazers offense. UAB thinks they've got a lot of speed this year offensively. They expect to be better on offense, although living up to last year's defense will be very tough with 9 new starters. On 1st and 10 from Florida's 47, a delayed handoff, and it loses a couple of yards. Ian Scott says if it takes that long, it's not going far.
Well, Ian Scott last year was the #2 player on this Gator defense as far as coming up with big plays. Here you see him in the backfield making the stop for a 3-yard loss. Good job. Here's another look. You get penetration. There's just nowhere to go as Scott gets through, and Dudley has to take the hit.
And really the first bad down and distance situation. They run a screen right side, and that's not opening up very much as they tried to swing it out to the big fella Gibson. Brian Savalio ran him down, but that may not be the best use of a 240-pound fullback.
Well, I tell you what, though, Larry, they had something there, but Mike Natile came up and sold out and forced everything back inside, which gave Savalio a chance to get out there and make the tackle for a very short gain.
Natile senior, 66 tackles last year for the Florida Gators. And it's 3rd and long. They've got to get the ball almost right to the 36-yard line. Dudley and Gibson both in there. In formation they can run option out of. Juggled by Cox. Now he's in trouble, and down he goes. In came the pressure, and there's Mike Natile, the senior, moved to Sam linebacker, and he gets a quarterback sack.
Now, Larry, this is just beautiful execution. Watch Matt Ferrier outside, takes up the block of the fullback, and that frees up the Sam linebacker to come through untouched for the sack.
Yeah, that's one of those where you feel like Ferrier ought to get an assist. He cleared the path, but he'll just have to settle for an attaboy in the film room on Monday. So Florida will force an apparent punt attempt. Ross Stewart Was a good kicker for them last year. We have a flag on the line of scrimmage. Low punt taken by Ratliff, and he fair caught it at the 14. Had a little more room than he thought. And we'll check out the penalty. Were the Gators offside, or was it one of them formation things as the officiating crew talks it over? It's one of them formation things, says Terry Brown. And if I'm Florida, I think they may have him, what, you have him kick it again?
Well, you know, knowing Ron Zook and the way he loves special teams, you would expect to see him kick it again.
Illegal formation against the kicking team. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 4th down.
It was a pretty good kick, 40 yards with no return, so that 40-yard net's pretty good. Florida thinks they can do better.
Well, I would hope so, but you know, as I stated, you know, Ron Zook, his whole career has really specialized on special teams and defense. And anytime that you can make those guys have to kick and run down and execute again, you got a better opportunity of maybe getting a return rather than settling for the ball back on the 10-yard line.
It's also a good time to come after a punter if you didn't come after him the first time, and Florida really didn't come hard on the rush. Now they've got a pretty good rush, but he gets it away. Ratliff lets it bounce past him, and that'll pin the Gators down at the 10-yard, about the 9-yard line. Kiwan thought he'd play it on a hop, and as most infielders find out, if you back up, you can get a bad hop. And it bounced right by him. We've got timeout in the Swamp, 8:49 opening period. The Gators with the lead and the ball.
One of the things that a university medical center has to offer is the opportunity for a patient with a serious brain disorder to seek a consultation or a second opinion from someone who has seen a great number of patients with a similar problem. It's also an opportunity to see someone who's involved in research and development of the newest and best treatments available for their problem.
What makes this team a winner? It's all about training and preparation to be the best. Watch them work the upper body. Look at that precision. Some light stretching keeps them loose, and they always finish with a good steam. This Papa John's team really makes it happen. So call today for a made-to-order pizza with the finest ingredients, and you'll find out what makes Papa John's a winner.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Our Papa John's team is proud to support the University of Florida Gators. Go Gators!
Get into business with America's oldest and largest shutter manufacturer, All Florida Hurricane Shutters, featuring Magnum Force, the complete line of hurricane protection products. Your customers can receive insurance discounts, comply with building codes, and find real peace of mind. All Florida Hurricane Shutters and the Magnum Force line of hurricane protection products, serving the state of Florida and the Southeast United States since 1954. Call 1-800-HURRICANE or visit our website.
To the Florida Gators and first in Florida sports, Sunshine Network.
Browns, UAB Blazers getting set to try to take advantage of great field position against the Gator defense. Let's go to the field and check in with Steve Babick. Steve.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the safety of players and fans alike, it'll be very important that experienced, talented veterans like Mike Nattil and Bam Hardman come through. That's one thing. When you want to be aggressive and attacking, you've got to have reliable players. These guys might be underrated in the SEC, but boy, they've really caught the eyes of this Gator defensive coaching staff. Last year, they combined for over 100 tackles. You already saw an impact on the blitz by Mike Nattil. I really think John Thompson will be aggressive because he trusts those seniors on the outside. The question mark will be in the middle, where two guys might replace one. You've got Matt Ferrier and Reed Fleming trying to replace a great one in Andre Davis.
There you see the Gator sideline. That's James Spear in the orange shirt and Jerry Red Anderson. Coach Red spent a lot of years on the Florida sidelines, has been working with Gator boosters and dealing with the Gator lettermen and alumni, and now back, happy camper to be back on the sideline.
Yeah, old high school coach out of Miami, Carroll City. I remember the days to go out and watch his teams, and you know, Red had some of the great high school football teams, and then came up here and did some coaching with the Gators, and it's, like you say, Larry, it's good to see him out there doing what he loves.
Coached tight ends for the Florida Gators as well as defensive linemen and such like that, and he's getting ready to start another round with these young defensive linemen. Kids in the 8th grade and under, you're invited to join the Gator Kids Club. You get an official club t-shirt, membership card, and exclusive opportunities where you get to meet Gator players and coaches. For more information on the Gator Kids Club, call 352-375-4683. That's 375-GO-UF.
A couple of young Gators there. Can't find a better way to spend Labor Day weekend than here in the swamp watching the Gators.
Or watching the Majorettes, either way.
I'm just going to watch the Gators.
That's a first. No, I've heard everything. 7:51 to go, opening quarter. There you see another packed house, another sellout here at the Swamp. That's 78 in a row. And UAB goes on offense with great field position. Play action pass. Cox looking deep with lots of time. Throws deep, and that ball is incomplete. Great coverage, stride for stride. Willie Quinney trying to get behind Kewan Ratliff, and he would have needed a moped to make that happen.
Well, Larry, Quinney actually gets a step on Ratliff, but what happens is he slows down and he stops, and then Kewan Ratliff does a good job of looking when the receiver looks for the ball. He turns, looks for the football, wards him off, incomplete pass. Heads up play.
And the Gators shift to a dime package as two linebackers, Ferrier and Natil, come out. And the Gators check in with Corey Bailey and Marquise Westbrook, 6 DBs. On a little swing pass, semi-screen out in the flat, and there's Marquise Westbrook rolling up on the wideout Chico Cleveland. There is a flag on the play as they stop it for just a 2-yard pickup. Probably another formation penalty. I think the Gators will leave them with 3rd and 8, but they're talking it over on the sideline with the officiating crew.
Illegal formation against the offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. 3rd down.
I tell you, Larry, you get pretty good at this stuff. You know, you sort of sniffing it out and figuring out exactly what the Gators are going to do. You know, somebody would think you've done this before.
Coach Zook told me all the decisions he was going to make, and I've got them in order, so I'm ready. 3rd and 8 is a down and distance most defensive coaches like to have teams in. Gators wave at the crowd a little bit to get those guys cranked up. You know, a quick score, it kind of makes you, can make a crowd kind of happy, you know. They just sit back and say, hey, this is cool. They try to get some noise here in the Swamp. Third down opportunity for the Blazers. Cox fires, and it is incomplete. Had his man, looked like a good throw to Roddy White, but it got through his hands and hit the shoulder pads and popped right out.
Well, what happened here was Corey Bailey at the snap of the ball was really not ready to play football. And that's why White was able to run right by him. Watch him run right by him. He's not ready to play football. He's beat right now, and White just doesn't catch the football. This should have been a completed pass, but Corey Bailey's got to be ready. He's got to see the snap of the football.
Roddy White went to the sideline. That comes right back on kick coverage, or is it kick coverage? Stewart's back there to punt. If you're going to do something tricky, the opponent 45 is not a bad place for it, but Florida appears to have everyone covered up. Another bad snap. That one bounced there. Kewan, fair catch, but he doesn't want to catch it. Hits at the 6 and goes out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. So for the Gators' 2nd straight possession, they will start inside their 10.
Well, Ross Stewart, a senior punter out of Bluntsville, Alabama, has done pretty good. He's done a nice job of handling bad snaps and then getting good kicks off to set the Gators back in deep territory.
Well, if you want to get great regional sports news, then you need to tune into the state's only source, and that's Nextel Florida Sports News. Tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, you'll get a complete report on all the state colleges and pros, how their weekend went, and what's coming up in the week ahead. Complete regional sports news every night at Nextel Florida Sports News. Weeknights at 10 right here on Sunshine Network. Backed up to the 3. The Gators give it to Graham, and he gets about 5 as he pounds it out to the 8-yard line. And this is something Florida could really improve on, is the ability to kind of knock guys off the ball and run it when you're in terrible field position and get a 1st down or 2.
Well, what you've got to be able to do when you're backed up is run the football. A little trap right there with Shannon Snell coming in, and then Ernest Graham just tucking in behind him, trying to pick up the tough yardage.
And Graham comes right back and gets a first down. Boy, Shannon Snell born to trap block or what? He really loves this running game.
To be a good offensive lineman, you got to have what they call good feet. And he's got a big platform, big feet, and he can flat out get done as far as getting out there, knocking people down.
And the rest of him works pretty good, too. Back-to-back runs, and I don't know what happened. They blew the ball into play. I don't know if a Blazer swatted it or DeGory lost it. The umpire.
The umpire, yeah, I saw that. He needed a breather.
Kind of takes a little bit of the fun out of the no huddle, doesn't it? From the 15-yard line. Grossman changing things at the line of scrimmage. He wants a bunch. Deep down the middle for Taylor Jacobs. He's got him a little off stride, and Taylor will be dropped at the 34-yard line. Another long pass from Grossman to Jacobs.
Well, Larry, never would you ever want to say that your quarterback, your all-star quarterback, just can't get it to Taylor Jacobs. This would be the second touchdown as he's well behind Carlos Hendricks, and nice job of coming back, catching the football. You know, Rex Grossman need to get a little bit more on it. Easy touchdown.
First down, they pump one way. Grossman swings it out to Graham, and that'll be a loss of about 4. UAB just had a lot of guys. That's one of those plays you look on the field and you say they must have had 13 or 14 because they had everything covered.
Well, they just happened to be in the best coverage. They were in a man coverage, and Woodfin, his coverage was Ernest Graham. So therefore, no matter how much you fake, you got a guy right next to your guy. Usually when you run this kind of play, you're hoping to catch him in a zone defense. That time you caught him in a man coverage.
Loss of 4 officially back to the 38-yard line. And the Gators go 4 wide on second down and long as the clock moves inside. 5 minutes to play, opening quarter of a 7-0 Gator advantage. Grossman has 2 guys in the same spot, getting him in trouble. He throws it away. Actually, if he had seen Graham, he could have completed it. Ernest had no one near him, but he was just throwing it away as he had the wrong route run by at least one of his young receivers.
Well, Larry, I don't agree with you that he didn't see Graham, because he had to see him. Otherwise, it would have been intentional ground as he tried to get the ball over to the side where Ernest Graham was. But he was getting a little pressure. He was getting hit as he released the football.
4 out of 8 for Rex so far. Taylor Jacobs over 100 yards on 2 catches. He may be looking for Jacobs again on 3rd and 14. Surprised they're single covering Jacobs, but Grossman will be sacked. Not much time at all, and he was dropped at midfield by number 27, Dejon Hart.
Well, this is a coverage sack, Larry. I know you say you don't have much time, but right here he has protection. It just breaks down eventually as Max Starks gets beat, but the receivers were all covered and there was just nowhere to go with the football. Rex had to eat it.
So Florida will punt it away after a long pass, gave him great field position. That's a bad kick. It'll wobble and hit one of the trainers over on the sideline and end up being about a 15-yard punt or so. They'll mark it out of bounds at the 33. So a good scoring opportunity goes by the boards, and it stays a 7-0 game. But not surprising to see UAB play pretty good defense, because this is a team that was 5th in the nation last year, and you don't just do that with players. You've got to have a good scheme, a good coaching system, and a good way of going about your business.
Well, not only were they 5th in the nation in total offense defensively, but they were number 1 against the rush. So, you know, you're talking about a team that they come in here and they expect to line up and be able to challenge, if nothing else, on defense.
17 yards on Hunter's 2nd career punt. And UAB goes on offense again. This time the Gators only have 2 down linemen, but a bunch of guys creeping in near the ball. They run the counter with Gibson. The big fullback gets out of traffic across the 45 and into Florida territory at the Gator 49-yard line. So he rumbles through traffic for 18 yards and a first down.
And both big plays, Larry, have come out the back door. Right here, the Gators are a a team that will pursue. Now watch this. Everybody's fighting to get to the right side. He comes back out the back door. There's nobody there. You know, you've got to stay home. If you've got containment responsibility and you're the defensive end or the linebacker, you've got to make sure the ball goes to the other side, and you got to close, keeping everything inside of you.
Gibson last year was the goal line guy. 32 carries, 6 of them touchdowns, less than 3 yards a pop, but he's broken a couple of good long gainers. That ball's loose, and it will roll. Did he recover it in time? I don't think he did. Reed Fleming on the ball, but it will be UAB ball. He did not possess it before the ball touched the sideline, but good play on the option creates a 5-yard loss.
Well, great job by Reed Fleming. The line judges happened to be standing right there, Larry, but the way he swiped at the ball to try and pull it back in before the official could make the call. Here you see, was that Todd Johnson? No, that was Robert Cromartie in there that caused the fumble as Cox tried to pitch the football.
So it'll be 2nd down and long as UAB is back in its own end of the field. 3:22 to play opening quarter, 7-0, Gators on top. Cox hit as he throws, incomplete, and there should be a flag because that ball went downfield, and the big fella, number 68, Kirk Tuck, was 8 yards downfield on that pass play.
Well, not only was Kirk Tuck downfield, but number 3, the wide receiver, also was blocking downfield, which you cannot do, Jason Southall, when the ball's in the air.
You can if the ball doesn't cross the line of scrimmage, and give or take 7 yards it did. So that'll be the call, will be the ineligible receiver deal. Gators may decline.
Ineligible man downfield against the offense. The penalty is declined. 3rd down.
It's only 5 yards, no loss of down, so you're better off with the incompletion.
Let's go back and take a look. Right here, you see Cox getting hit as Tuck is downfield, but this play just takes too long. As you see, not only Tuck, but also big number 61, Larry Coachman. So both center and guard have crossed the line of scrimmage as they tried to get the ball to number 8, TJ Simmons.
They try to get a little bit of crowd noise here in the swamp as the Florida defense tries to get the ball back for the offense. 3:15 to play opening quarter. 3rd and long. There's a flag on the play, and Cox just threw it to the umpire. I don't think he got the snap off in time. May have been a false start in the line. The umpire threw the flag. The back judge didn't. Usually the back judge calls the clock things, but it was very close on that as well.
There's a good look at Watson Brown telling his guys, you just got to settle down.
From the previous spot, remains 3rd down.
Yeah, it was a false start. He moved before the clock ran out, but even though the ball wasn't snapped, so it was choose your 5-yarder. The ball's inside the 41. They have to get to the Gator 39 for a 1st down. So it is a pretty long haul, 20 yards to go on this 3rd down play, and we'll see if the Gators really come after Cox or not.
Well, this is where you like to see the Gators come up with a takeaway. You know, last year they didn't have the 13 interceptions, so this will be an opportune time as they run a draw.
Run a draw with Dudley. He's got 10. He's got almost 15 yards as he gets to the Florida 45. Give him 14 of the 20 he needs, and it'll be 4th down and 6. And UAB having some success running the ball on the Florida Gators so far today.
And Larry, what we see here, Pat Sullivan, the offensive coordinator, realized that, you know, this is a game of field position. So rather than take a chance on turning the ball over, he gives it to his tailback, Darren Dudley, just to try and maintain field position. Hopefully they'll be able to punt it and pin the Gators back again.
Cox goes over to talk with Coach Sullivan about what he did or didn't do properly on that last possession. Vernell Brown is back to receive this punt. It's a low one. He'll have a chance, but it wobbles out of bounds. Hits at the 19, and they will mark it right there, and that's where the Gators will go on offense for the 4th time, the 3rd time, starting out inside their own 20-yard line. Well, we invite you to tune in to Sunshine Network beginning Thursday night to join Steve Goldstein and Jim Mad Dog Mandich for Dolphins Live. It's up-to-the-minute news and in-depth analysis of the Miami Dolphins, player and coach interviews, and a whole lot more. Plus, they'll take your phone calls. That's Dolphins Live with Goldie and the Mad Dog, Thursdays at 6:30, only on Sunshine. That's going to be fun. Keep up with the NFL with that.
Well, I try not to keep up with them.
Graham on the carry. Nice play by the inside backer. Zach Woodfin kind of clogged that up. That could have broken a little bit better had Woodfin not gummed up the works. Instead, it's a gain of about 3, maybe 4.
But Larry, I really love the mixture of the type of runs we're seeing here early in the first quarter. You know, last year, if it was a run, it was a delayed draw of some sort. Now we've got the trap, we got the off-tackle run. Just a beautiful job of setting it up.
Give him 4. Quick hitch to Jacobs. Taylor trying to make the guy miss, couldn't do it. Nice play over there on the corner by Dio Hill, holding on and stopping Jacobs about a yard shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. And on the far right, you see Coach Ed Zonbrecker. Tyke Tolbert, the Gator tight ends coach and recruiting coordinator, next to him as they work the booth for the Florida Gators. Jerry Odom's also upstairs, and we know Jerry better to know that that's probably not his favorite place to be on a Saturday.
Yeah, he wants to be close to the action.
They're going to come over and measure, but it's about, boy, it looked like about 2 feet short. Maybe it's closer than that. Maybe they just like to measure. Yeah, they just like to measure. Now, there's no way you need to measure that.
Well, they just want to make sure that they get the placement, the spot down right when they move it out to the hash mark, you know.
And they got it just right, so it'll be 3rd and short. The Gators trying to knock out first downs with the boys in the trenches. For more on that, let's check in with Steve Babbitt.
Well, if you take a look at the 5 guys at the very beginning of fall practice that would have started, and I'm counting Mo Mitchell, the average size of the offensive line would have been 6'7", 327. David Jorgensen gets him a little bit smaller, 6'6", 310. Nat, what was the size of your offensive line back when you played?
Babs, that's a good question because they were probably smaller than me.
How about maybe 6'1", 220?
6'1", maybe 210, you know. Chris Anderson and those guys.
Gators pop out of the huddle in a hurry. Didn't quite get everyone lined up as fast as they hoped, but they got their 2 yards anyway. The one they needed and the one they thought would be fun to add to the total. So it's a first down at the 30.
A good job by the offensive line, but watch Ray Snell Jr. and Willie Green on the left side of your screen opening up the hole for Ernest Graham to pick up the first down.
Boy, it's great seeing Willie Green get playing time. That young man battling knee injuries and trying to do what he can to get playing time with this Gator football team. Florida almost a 3-1 advantage in total offense. 1 minute to play in the quarter. Grossman, lots of time, waits, finally throws, and it is caught at the 42-yard line by Kelvin Kite. Finally, another wide receiver. We saw one catch by Perez. This time, it's Kite, the junior from Lithonia, Georgia.
Well, Larry, coming into the season, you thought that Kelvin Kite and Carlos Perez would be the 2 guys that would step up and become the 3rd receiver for the Gators. And it's good to see Kelvin Kite starting to get some balls thrown to him, get his confidence back, because they will need him as they get into the tooth of the schedule.
Florida going no huddle from the 42. Graham inside's got 5. He's got 10. Ernest Graham down the right sideline. There's the stiff arm. And he's finally knocked out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
And where did they go? Just right up the middle. Little inside trap by David Jorgensen. And then watch Ernest Graham as he sees some running room outside. And watch the stiff arm that he puts on Hill. And it takes Chris Brown coming over from his free safety position. I think Ernest got a little tired. He didn't expect it to be that wide open. He's not used to seeing this.
He pushes Hill a little further. Hill takes out Brown, and it's a touchdown. 1st and goal. Ran Carthen into the game, and he gets down close to the 5-yard line. Give him close to 4. They had spotted it at the 9, so he got almost half what the Gators needed.
And what does a good offensive coordinator do? If a play works, he runs it again. Sunbreaker comes in, he gets Rand Carthon, he runs the same play, picks up 3 or 4 yards. Good play calling.
Moran is excited about this season, really feels he's going to be a big part of things. Carried the ball just 36 times last year. 10 seconds until the end of the quarter. More time on the play clock than the game clock. This will be the final play of the quarter. Grossman to the end zone, too tall. Taylor Jacobs couldn't get it. Abner Hayes might have been able to get up there. Morris Stroud, the old tight end of Kansas City, might have gotten up high enough.
Well, he tried to pull the string on this one, Larry, and just was not able to get it down low enough where Jacobs could go up and come down with the touchdown.
Ron Zook's first game as the head coach of the Florida Gators. Saw the Gators score first on their opening possession. Ernest Graham pounded it in, and now they're threatening to score again as we end the first quarter in Gainesville.
In 1977, Shakespeare introduced the ugly stick, a rod so strong, so durable, and yet so sensitive. It became the #1 selling rod in America. You'd think by now the competition would have done it. Guess not. Ugly Stick by Shakespeare. Still America's strongest, most sensitive rod.
What's going on?
I think they're having computer problems.
Why don't we ever seem to have computer problems?
Well, we have Dell's. They're super reliable. And if there is a problem, Dell's service and support can get us up and running right away.
That's not fair.
Get the performance and reliability your business needs today and tomorrow with a Dell Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for $699, or Dell Business Notebook starting at just $1199.
Ellen, could we have an occasional computer problem?
Because our computers work, that means we won't be working this weekend.
She's got a point.
Get great deals on Dell Business Systems, like a Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for $699. Right now, get a free CD burner upgrade on select Dell Business Systems.
So you're gonna be free this weekend then?
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
Fishing then? Fishing now. As the needs of the avid angler have changed, so has Pfluger, the legendary tackle manufacturer. Pfluger is setting a new standard in quality and performance with the Try-On series. Try-On spinning reels, Try-On bait casting reels, and Try-On graphite rods. Fishing has changed, but you can still rely on Pfluger, a fishing tradition for over 120 years. Isn't it time you experience the legendary feel of a Pfluger?
Why do we call this a freeze? Because it's cold. Then why do we call this chili?
We don't need to bribe kids to eat here.
Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
Breakfast with the Gators on Sunshine Network at the home of the Florida Gators, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Florida Field, the Swamp. Along with Steve Babick and Nat Moore, I'm Larry Vittel. Glad to have you tuned in wherever you're watching. And the Gators with a 7-0 first quarter lead, got it on their opening possession. And since then, you know, they had one good scoring opportunity, could not cash it in, but they hope to cash in this one momentarily. GatorsZone.com is the place to go for the latest news on Florida Gators sports, all the news and the stats and the schedules, whatever you need. Plus, you can order all of your Gator merchandise. That's GatorsZone.com, the official website of the Florida Gators. And a pretty good start for number 5. We talked about Ernest at the top, Nat, and he's certainly off to a great start tonight.
Well, the viewers at home would think we knew what we were talking about as he's carried the ball 8 times for 79 yards just in the first quarter alone. Normally in the Steve Spurrier system, he didn't start to get those yards till the fourth quarter.
And with the yards he's picked up, he's moved into 10th place in Gator history. So pretty nice job for Ernest to start off the season. Grossman pumps once, looking the left way now. Wants someone to come clear, and it's incomplete. Rifled it, and there's a flag. And that might be a lineman downfield. I think the Gators might have picked up what we saw at the other end not too long ago. landed right at the feet of a Florida lineman about 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. There's also a flag in the offensive backfield at the 15. Don't think those are for the same thing.
During the pass, ineligible receiver downfield against the offense. Also had a late hit personal foul against the defense. The penalties were all set. Third down.
Well, the Gators catch a break there, Larry, as you get offsetting penalties. You know, the Blazers that time backed up and played a little zone coverage. And of course, as you start to look at what happened, let's go back and take a look, see if we can find an open receiver. Right here, they're playing a zone. And number 33, Rand Carthon, comes wide open, and so does Carlos Perez over on the left side. On the right side, excuse me.
I'll tell you, he should have seen those guys.
Well, when you're running for your life back there, it's kind of hard to pick out the open receiver.
So it's back to the 5-yard line. Again, 3rd and goal for the Florida Gators. Grossman looking for his first TD pass of the season. Rex with time, throws. Oh, he had a man draped all over Taylor Jacobs. That's Hendricks, the corner, just riding Jacobs at the goal line.
Well, Larry, this has got to be just an easy call by the line judge, because he's sitting there looking at it all the way as Hendricks wraps his left arm around Taylor Jacobs.
Defensive pass interference. Half the distance to the goal. The ball will be placed on the 2-yard line.
Let's take a good look at it. If you look to the left side of your screen, you see number 6 matched up against Carlos Hendricks, number 19, right there. You know, and he's saying no way, and he almost mugged the guy.
Yeah, that's 30 days in some counties. It's just a 3-yard penalty, but it's 1st and goal. Florida will try to pound it in, and that didn't take long as Rand Carthon gets it into the end zone.
Well, Larry, you said that Rand Carthon would get more playing time. This time, he gets to be Ernest Graham as he just follows Willie Green and Ray Snell Jr. over the left side of the offense for an easy 3-yard touchdown run.
The first career touchdown for Rand Carthon out of Key West High School. And that's always a good feeling. You'll remember that for a long, long time. Extra point, wide right. Leach pushed it wide of the upright, so the Gators leave 1 point shy of what they had in mind when they had 1st and goal, but they did get it into the end zone. And we've got time out at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville. Opening day 2002, breakfast with the Gators. They're up 13.
It's your Dodge dealer's Labor Day clearance event. Everything is in place for some of the biggest savings of the year. Consumer cash allowance up to $3,000. Or 0% financing for 60 months on almost every 2002 Dodge that can save you over $7,000. Plus, our 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. The selection is big. The savings even bigger. The time to buy is now at your Dodge dealer.
Your connection to the Gators is at GatorsZone.com, the official website of the Florida Gators. Get team rosters, bios, schedules, and statistics, plus audio and video highlights, and of course, the most up-to-date scores and stories on every Gator team. GatorsZone.com connects you to live broadcasts of every Gator football game, and you can follow every play of every home game with live streaming stats. You can even get game stats emailed to you instantly as soon as the game's over. Get in the Gator Zone today. GatorsZone.com, the official website of the Florida Gators, hosted by NPINet.
Precision, performance, perfection. Expect no less from yourself or the leader in sports medicine and orthopedics. Ranked among America's best hospitals, Florida Hospital performs more orthopedic surgeries than anyone in Florida. We know what it takes to get you back in the game. That's why the Orlando Magic, the Orlando Miracle, Disney's Wide World of Sports, and Florida Citrus Sports have all made Florida Hospital their official hospital of choice. Excellence. It's in our bones.
The Florida fans are enjoying opening day here in the Swamp. A 13-0 lead over UAB on a couple of running touchdowns, one for Graham and one for Carthon. There you see Jerry Odom, second from the left. On the far left, that's Coach Woody, Mike Woodford, the Gators DB coach. Jerry taking care of outside backers and special teams, and looking to get those special teams to be more dangerous in the return game this season. Be sure you start your college football Saturdays right with the Bubba Burger College Kickoff Show. Join Frank Frangie, Brady Ackerman, and Terry Norvell each Saturday as they run through the day in college football, featuring the teams from the state of Florida and their respective conferences. That's the Bubba Burger College Football Show. Saturday mornings at 10, right here on Sunshine Network, first in Florida sports. .12:39 to play in the second quarter. The Gators up 13-0, trying to get themselves a little more breathing room as they start out at their own 36. Rex Grossman, Gators junior out of Bloomington, Indiana, sets up. Now he steps up and he'll be hit from behind and dropped. I don't like the way his right leg got pinned underneath the on-rushing defensive lineman, but he's pulling himself up rather quickly. I don't think we talk enough about how durable Rex has been in his 2 years of playing time now. He's taken a bunch of hits, but he always gets right back up.
Well, one of the good things is he's a tough guy. You know, he's not just a very talented quarterback. He's a tough guy that, you know, he's just like one of those running backs. He doesn't mind taking the punishment, because when he gets an opportunity, he's going to burn you.
Grossman sets up, fires low. Matt Jackson makes a nice catch at the 39-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 8 on 2nd and 15, so a little more than half of what the Gators need to move the chains.
Well, you'd like to see Rex get on a little streak here, Larry. He's got a good, clean pocket to throw from, and you know he needs to get it up a little bit. But a nice job by Matt Jackson of going down, getting his arms underneath the football for the reception.
So it's 3rd down. Gators need to get it across the 46. 3 wide receivers to the right side, one of those being the tight end Aaron Walker, who's yet to see the ball. Gators will run it. Flags on the play. Graham bounces it outside. He's got the first down and more as he powers across midfield for the Gators. It was a gain of about 12. We'll see if it stands up. A lot of big penalties, but a lot of hankies on the field.
Offsides against the defense. The penalty is declined. First down.
So give the yardage to Ernest Graham, who continues on his way to a 100-yard half.
Once again, a little trap block this time as Shannon Snell. Ernest Graham finds the hole, comes back out the back door, makes Carlos Hendricks misses, picks up the first down. Rex Grossman's just doing a great job of running this offense, moving people around to get the mismatch.
Mark it right at the midfield stripe. Just below the block, Letterman's F. Grossman sets up the post. He's got Taylor Jacobs, and Taylor's got the ball inside the 25 at the 22.
I can tell you this here, if my name is Carlos Hendricks, right now I'm having nightmares about Taylor Jacobs because he's beat him every way possible. This is just a quick slant, what we call a little look route. Perfect timing, get the ball to him, catches the football, and here goes Ernest Graham.
And look at that. Look. That's a look run, not a look route. Ernest Graham with his 2nd touchdown.
Oh, what a job by the O-line. It might not, Larry, be the fun and gun, but it is fun as you see the Gators running all over and around the Blazers from AUB, excuse me.
Ernest Graham, his 24th career rushing touchdown. Better exchange that time, and Leach nails the extra point. And the Gators have grabbed a little bit of control of things here in the Swamp as they have gone in and made it a 20-point advantage with 10 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the first half. So the Florida Gators using the balance, throwing it and running it, back-to-back plays. The pass to Jacobs followed by the run by Graham, covering 50 yards for the touchdown.
Well, Larry, defensive coordinators are really going to have to put on their think cap now because they're not used to seeing the Gators come out and just run the football, where they just steamroll the Blazers as they get outside, and Brown's not able to get there before Graham crosses pay dirt. I would think that would take him, take our man Ernest Graham. We highlighted him in the opening. I would say he's got a little over 100 yards here in the first half.
Had an outstanding first half, and it's been 25 games since the UAB defense has allowed a 100-yard game by an opposing running back, going to about 3 or 4 games left in the 1999 season. So 2 full years they haven't allowed that, but Ernest Graham has said enough of that. 112 first half yards with a couple of touchdowns to make it a 20-point ball game.
We don't doubt the billions. It's the served part we have trouble with.
When you see a number in front of a burger at a fast food place, it means that they're supposed to sell it to you before the big hand hits that number, or throw it away. So, depending on how closely they watch the clock, you either end up with your dinner or their garbage.
Steak and Shake, famous for steak burger.
What's going on?
I think they're having computer problems.
Why don't we ever seem to have computer problems?
Well, we have Dell's. They're super reliable. And if there is a problem, Dell's service and support can get us up and running right away.
That's not fair.
Get the performance and reliability your business needs today and tomorrow with a Dell Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for $699, or Dell Business Notebook starting at just $1199.
Ellen, could we have an occasional computer problem?
Because our computers work, that means we won't be working this weekend.
She's got a point.
Get great deals on Dell Business Systems, like a Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for $699. Right now, get a free CD burner upgrade on select Dell Business Systems.
So you're gonna be free this weekend then?
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
Sunshine Network. Hammer down.
Home to the Southeastern Conference and first in Florida sports. Sunshine Network.
Well, it's been almost flawless for the Florida Gators with a 20-0 first half. They did come up short on 1 extra point. We showed you. For more on that, let's get another report from the sidelines and our man Steve Babick. Babs?
Well, Larry, Nat, you talked about how the hold wasn't so good for Matt Leach on the second touchdown extra point try. On the third time, it was very good. Good job by Jason Hunter. The snap, he puts the ball down. Leach follows through it. You get the good kick. Keep in mind this, too. Now, Jason Hunter came to be the punter. Hunter the punter. When Brian Stone left the team, decided to transfer, he had been the holder in the past and had been the holder at the beginning of fall camp. They had to recruit a new guy. Jason Hunter was the nominee. He's a guy, a work in progress as a holder, and hopefully his punting will get better as well. And also, Larry, boy, Jason Hunter, how he got here is amazing. 2 junior colleges, then he went to Tennessee and walked on to Florida. This guy sounds like a college baseball player. He's had a lot of stops.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you need Rand McNally to do the life story of this guy. On his 4th school, he's a 3rd-year sophomore, so he does have 2 years after this where he can compete collegiately. Hunter the punter. We appreciate the report from, I guess, Babick. We could have Babick kick. sort of rhymes with Hunter the punter.
There's my favorite kicker right there, Matt Petrovic.
He's not a kicker, he's a kickbacker.
He's a linebacker.
He goes downfield looking to make a hit. That might be the best kick of his Gator career. That thing's 7 yards deep, and they won't bring it out. So Petro, I don't know if he'll be happy about the kick or bummed he didn't get to run into anybody, but Petro with a great kick into the end zone, and UAB pinned back at the 20-yard line.
You know, it's sort of like baseball. You know when you hit it good. That time Matt was just sort of strided down because, you know, like Barry Bonds, he wanted to admire the kick as he hit it 10 yards deep in the end zone.
Talk about baseball. I'm glad we're still going to have some. Looked for a while like we'd be done ahead of schedule yet again, but baseball will continue. And tell you what, 3 years from now, we'll be talking about Barry Bonds needing about 18 homers to pass Hank Aaron. Right now, UAB needs 21 points to pass the Gators. Hackney stays in the game. The freshman looks, can't find anyone to throw it to. Now fires, and it is incomplete. Great coverage on Borders by Kewan Ratliff. He just got inside Borders' arms and wouldn't let him bring it in.
Well, not only a nice job of stripping the ball out as the ball comes in, Borders has a chance, and Kewan Ratliff stays with the play. But think about how long he had to cover this guy. 5-6 seconds. Quarterback's able to scramble out, move around, and get by time, and Borders still was not able to uncover. Just a perfect job of covering man-to-man by Kewan Ratliff.
One thing, the Gators, without pressure, haven't had a lot of pass rush. That might be something they'd like to see more of. Of course, they haven't shown a lot of their blitz packages and zone blitzes and such like that. Now Hackney pumps once, and all the Gators ran that way. And he will trip and fall. Marquise Westbrook got a hand on a shoelace. And Hackney would have turned it up for the first down if not for that effort by Westbrook, and it'll bring up 3rd and 4.
Well, Hackney just does a great job of ad-libbing here because they're trying to screen the ball out in the flat to the right side, and it's covered as Okendo Johnson, those guys see it, and then you see Marquise Westbrook that's covering Borders come up and make a saving tackle to keep Hackney from picking up the first down.
So now it's 3rd down and a long 4 for the Blazers. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hackney rolling right, under pressure, gets away from it, throws it in the dirt, but there is a flag on the play again on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That'll either be an offside or in one of them formation. UAB's, they got tackle who's not real big on the line of scrimmage. He doesn't believe in being all the way up there. Maybe we ought to keep an eye on it, because that's what they've got him for again, as a formation.
Well, he's heard about this Gator speed at the defensive end, so he's trying to get a half a step there to keep from getting beat.
Illegal formation against the offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
Larry, JT is coming, John Thompson that is coming with some very nice packages here on 3rd down, where Matt Furrier comes out at the defensive end, and he has containment, and you bring the linebacker inside. That time was Bam Hartman coming inside, which creates a situation where the quarterback can't get outside, and he has to take the punishment.
Matt Ferrier put on some nice pressure there that time on the backside, and if Hackney had stopped to change field, he would have paid the price. Ratliff back to return as the Gators await another punt from Ross Stewart. Not a lot of pressure. High kick. Boy, this is a long one. He won at the 23. Ratliff straight up the field, gets away from him, and another flag on the play. Let's not invite these guys back. They just show their laundry far too often for my satisfaction, and it's at the 42, but it'll be marched back from that spot, I'm sure.
During the return, illegal block in the back against the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Referee Tony Brown filling us in, and the Gators will start at the 31. Still a long time to go in this first half. 9 minutes, 15 seconds. UAB, a team that prided itself on outstanding defense last year, and justifiably so. But they didn't play any offense as good as this one, although they did play Florida State. Seminoles beat them 29-7. Graham, or rather Grossman drops back. He's got Aaron Walker, and Awalk takes it down to the 45-yard line. So Aaron Walker, we've talked about the Gators wanting to get him into the offense, and he makes a nice catch for about a 24-yard gain.
Right. If this is not for Dio Hill coming off from his corner slot, playing the receiver, Walker is still running, but a nice job of making sure of the grab, catching the football before he gets hit. He sees it coming, tries to tuck, ball comes out, but the ground cannot cause a fumble.
Although it appeared to there. Grossman again looking deep down the right side. He's got it going. Touchdown, Taylor Jacobs.
The third time is the charm as Taylor Jacobs gets behind Dio Hill, and this time Rex Grossman gets it right there on the fingertips as Taylor Jacobs goes in for the touchdown. Beautiful throw and catch.
Leach nails the extra point. Grossman is having a big game. Taylor Jacobs is on the way to one of the greatest games you'll ever see for a Florida wide receiver as he's closing in on a 200-yard first half in this game with UAB.
Well, the sad part about it is if he keeps this up, tomorrow's papers will read Jabbar Caldwell, who? Here's a guy that has that great speed and acceleration, and that time the ball looked to be slightly overthrown, and you saw him turn on the afterburners to come up with the grab.
Watson Brown doesn't have an answer. Gator football on Sunshine Network is brought to you in part by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can have life by the horns. By Discount Auto Parts and Advanced Auto Parts, proud sponsors of the Florida Gators. And by Papa John's, the official pizza sponsor of the Florida Gators. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Ron Zook, in his debut as the Gator head coach, probably envisioned a dominant performance, but I don't know if he expected a 27-0 mark before halftime, as they have come out and just done pretty much everything they wanted to do. Dwayne Dixon has seen Taylor Jacobs get off to a phenomenal start tonight. The Gators already well over 300 yards. That guy, Rex Grossman, well over 200 yards in the first half alone, and still 8:41 to play in this opening half of football.
Well, we knew that Taylor Jacobs coming into this ball game was going to be a factor, that he was a star. He proved that last year, and then the last ball game of the year, the bowl game against Maryland down in Miami, he really came into his own. So we expect that out of Taylor Jacobs. What we're looking for still, Larry, is to see Kelvin Kite, Carlos Perez, Vernell Brown, some of those guys step up, because if not, what teams will do eventually will put 2 and 3 guys and try and take away Jacobs.
And how surprised are you that UAB isn't doing that?
Well, I'm very surprised that they're playing so much man coverage.
Roddy White brings it back to about the 25-yard line, and the Gators will go on defense right there. But the Florida offense, the story coming in was balance and being able to do it on the ground as well as in the air.
Well, the Gators have been able to run it in 3 times today, and they finally strike in the air. Usually it's the other way around, as Ernest Graham is having a phenomenal day where he's gone over 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. There's a good look at Grant Carthon piling it in, following Willie Green in there, and then eventually you got to get Rex Grossman off, but they're continually working the ground game.
Gotta love the balance in the Florida offense. Over 100 in the first half. Thomas Cox back in at quarterback for UAB. He'll run an option. He has no one to pitch to. He looked back to pitch it, and all he could see was members of the Pride of the Sunshine getting ready for the halftime show.
Well, Larry, I'll tell you, his tailback deserted it because he went the wrong way. Either he went the wrong way or the quarterback went the wrong way. But it was a heads-up play because Cox did not pitch the ball. He looked, he didn't see his tailback, he didn't pitch the ball blindly. Most quarterbacks would have pitched the football to been on the ground, and the Gators might have been able to scoop it up and go in for a touchdown.
Bam Hardman with the nice play defensively for the Gators. There you see the numbers better than 5-1 on offensive difference for the Gators. On the draw play, not much there. Natil makes the first hit and drops Dan Burks, freshman running back, getting his first playing time of the night. He'll go back and tell Coach, I can debut next week. There's no rush. I don't see the big hurry.
Oh.
Let me learn the offense a little bit better.
Well, I'll tell you this here. Right now, the Gator linebackers, especially outside linebackers, Hartman and Natil, is playing a heck of a ball game, doing a nice job of fighting off blocks, getting back in, making tackles.
There you see, this is a team that averaged almost 40% on third down conversions. They are 16% tonight. Bad snap, Cox just falls on it. Had little choice to do anything but fall on it. It'll be another loss of about 6, and they'll have to punt.
Snaps a little low there, and he just can't get grips on it. Does the wise thing, not try and make a special play, and it becomes a dumb play by just falling on the football, giving his punter a chance to come in and kick it away.
And a lot of time still for the Florida offense as Cox talks with his center. That's Kirk Tuck. He's a veteran. He's been around just about as long as Thomas Cox. And those guys way out of sync. They've had several bad snaps. A low wobbly kick. Ratliff watches it hit and take a left turn at the 47. It'll be down at the 44-yard line. So not much of a kick there, as it was booted about 25 yards, and the Florida Gators will have outstanding field position in UAB territory. 6:11 until halftime. Steve Babbitt, what's going on?
Well, you mentioned the individual efforts of a couple guys, Taylor Jacobs and Ernest Graham. Ernest Graham with over 100 yards running. A UAB defense has not allowed a 100-yard rusher in the last 25 games. You have to go back to 1999 when a player from Louisville did that, and here Ernest Graham has done that in the first half. UAB, the #1 defense against the run last year at 57.3 yards. Last year was last year.
Yeah, and they've lost a bunch of guys from that group, including Brian Thomas, who was a #1 draft pick of the New York Jets.
Matter of fact, they lost 9 of those guys.
Grossman sets up, fires. Kite's got it inside the 30, spun to the ground by Hendrick at about the 27-yard line. Second catch of the night for Kelvin Kite.
And this is what you want to see. See Kelvin Kite, the guy that's battling for that second or third position, running a square in here, goes up, catches the ball in his hands, tucks it away, picking up a first down. You don't have to worry about making the big play, just make the play. Big plays will come.
Yeah, well, that's when it goes to number 6. Jacobs split out there to the right. This time they have a safety cheating. So it's thrown down the middle and intercepted. There's a flag on the play. The corner may have been holding Kelvin Kite. He looked back at the official as the ball was thrown. The ball was picked off. Let's see if that's going to stand.
Well, I think they're going to get Carlos Hendricks again for holding.
Looks like one official is trying to talk the other out of it. Again, I don't think it was interference, but he was holding him as he tried to make his cut before the ball was thrown, and that's what Kite looked back about.
Well, but also, Larry, if he's actually holding him at the point going through the middle of the field, he keeps him from being able to make a play on the football as the ball is intercepted.
There's no flag on the play. The ball is intercepted. First down.
That's interesting.
Let's go back and take a look, see what we can see here. There you see right there, he grabs him, and what the field judge called was the holding on Hendricks but they're saying that he would not have made a play as they pick up the flag. I don't understand that, because, you know, that keeps him from going to the football.
And that's the guy who threw the flag. Ron Zook's talking. Hey, look, I thought it was holding. He's bigger than me. Besides, he said he's buying after the game if I let him have the call. So Grossman with his first interception. That's the first turnover of the night. And the big fella, Gibson, gained about 40 yards on his first 2 carries and hasn't seen the ball since. Gets that one and did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Bam Hardman leading a host of Florida defenders.
Well, that time they wasn't fooled by the misdirection. Everybody stays at home. Watch the guys on the right side of your screen in the pit. They stay right there at home. They don't get beat. And there you see Bam Hartman filling inside, while Kendall Johnson filling outside. That's the way you play your position. You don't have to make the play on the other side of the field, Larry. Just make the play when it comes to you.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
I'll remember that, Coach.
Team defense.
From the 10-yard line, little play action. Cox with time, right sideline. He's got an open man, but the pass hit the defender in the helmet. And there's a late flag that comes in. I think that ball was deflected before there was any contact. The field judge making the call. Now, where's the side judge to come in here and overrule him?
And Larry, that was a good call. They should have picked the flag up, because the ball actually hit the Gator defender in the back that was on the coverage. As you can see right here, Marquise Westbrook, ball hits him in the back. I don't know about that. I think they should have made the call if you take another look at. Now watch Gus Scott comes over the top and hits White, but they picked up the flag.
Well, if I'm the field judge, I'm not throwing any more flags. I'm going to say, fine.
Oh,
you don't want to let me play.
Unbelievable.
I'm going to take my hanky and go home. Jim Jumper. On 3rd and long, a delayed draw. Fighting through traffic. And Kendall Gibson gets the ball to about the 16 or 17, way shy of the first down. And UAB will kick it back to the Gators as the clock winds down to 4.5 minutes to play. Here in the first half, 27-0, the Gators on top. And again, now part of the thought process in a game like this is, how much does John Thompson, how much do the special teams, how much does Ed Zonbrecker kind of keep in reserve with such a great opponent coming up next week?
Well, I think you work on some of the things you need to work on. You've got to get your team some momentum. You got to get them some experience and some confidence, but you don't ever empty the barrel, especially if you got a lead like this and you got an opponent like Miami coming up next week.
Driving kick taken by Ratliff at the 38. Ewan makes a man miss, but there are too many others around, and he's finally buried at about the 47-yard line. About a 9-yard return.
Well, 9-yard return, 100 yards of dancing. You know, one of the things you got to do as a returner, you got to make up your mind and hit the crease. If you're standing back there dancing, you're going to have guys coming from everywhere taking shots at you, as we saw in that last play where Kawan Ratliff got hit pretty good there at the tail end of the play.
So the Gator offense, great field position. Coming up at the half, of course, we'll take a look and talk a little bit about Miami, the Gators and the Hurricanes next week. And also we'll have highlights and stats. That's coming up at the half right here on Breakfast with the Gators. Ernest Graham running right side, gets about 5.
You know, the beauty of running this inside handoff, Larry, as we keep seeing it, is it gives the running back more room to get into the hole. You know, a lot of times when you run the handoff behind the quarterback, it's hard to get back in a hole if you see one to the right side or to the left side as you start to take the ball. This opens it up for you.
Kind of like a shotgun for a quarterback. Lets you watch more of the field.
That's right.
2nd and 5. Carthon is checked into the lineup for the Gators. Grossman's got a running back wide open. That is Moran, and he ran on up to the 436-yard line of UAB. Got about 12 yards and a Florida first down. Cartland, an outstanding receiver. He's a good threat coming out of the backfield.
And showed some little quickness and nimble feet here as he catches the ball out in the flat. Zach Woodfin has him dead to rights. Now watch the little quick feet there. You know, showing you some of the moves he used when he was at Key West High School as he makes a defender miss him in the open field.
3 wide receivers split to the left on first down at the 36, inside 3 minutes till halftime. Grossman sets up and fires, and he's got O.J. Small. And O.J. takes it inside the 20 for another Florida first down.
I'll tell you, Rex is starting to get the feel of these young receivers as they're going down, finding the open lane, catching the Blazers in a zone defense, and he's putting the ball on the money. All they've got to do is catch it and try and get some yards after the catch, a little yak.
Mark it officially at the 18-yard line. The Gators threatening for their 5th touchdown of the first half. Grossman, excellent protection for the corner. Touchdown!
If I am Carlos Hendricks, Larry, I'm not going to sleep tonight, because instead of counting sheep, I will be counting Jacobs as Jacobs beats him once again for a touchdown on a corner route. You know, I can't understand defensively what the coordinator's thinking of, continually isolating him one-on-one on Taylor Jacobs.
Well, maybe he's trying to get the guys to realize this is as tough as it's going to be. The rest of the year, it's all uphill.
Or he's looking to destroy him completely. Oh, man. First game as a starter for Carlos Hendricks, trying to replace some of the great players off that defense last year. And what does he run into? Taylor Jacobs.
Taylor Jacobs having a career game in the first half alone. The Gators with a huge lead, 2:27 till halftime.
Fans, get ready for the ultimate kickoff. It's the Dolphins-Lions home opener Sunday, September 8th, 1 p.m. at Pro Player Stadium. The premiere of Ricky Williams, the debut of Norv Turner's playbook, the return of the dominating Dolphins defense, plus exciting NFL kickoff activities and a free Dolphins calendar. The Dolphins home opener. Be part of it. Get your tickets now at the stadium box office or any Ticketmaster outlet. Call 305-573-TEAM or visit MiamiDolphins.com.
Excuse me. I'll come back.
What did you say? Well, before I had the chance to say anything, he was gone. And he thinks I'm a perv. I am just...
Life is best told over a great tasting Miller Lite at a place called Miller Time.
Tonight, avoid doing the dishes without avoiding dishes.
Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
Well, Barker White with a little bit of help edging over toward the sidelines, and hopefully it is nothing too severe. You hate to see anybody get hurt under any circumstances, and UAB will sub somebody in for that offensive line and try to keep moving the chains. They've gotten themselves fairly close to scoring range, but they're down to 1 timeout and 29 seconds until halftime. 34-0 our score, as Ron Zook's got to be pleased with these first 30 minutes.
He's got to be extremely pleased. You just don't like the fact that they've been able to hold on to the football, move the ball down the field against your 2-minute defense, but, or should I say your prevent defense, but it gives you an opportunity to work on it, get it ready for later in the season.
From the 39, Hackney steps up and fires. Quinney, oh man, what a pop from Gus Scott. Wow.
Well, you heard it for yourself. You get, not only did you hear it, you get the feeling of what it's like to be down there between those sidelines as Gus Scott comes over from his strong safety position and puts the hat on it.
Should have signaled for a fair catch. Wow.
That's when you go back and tell the quarterback, don't do that to me again.
Throws it left side, caught and run out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Simmons made the catch, and it's 3rd and 1, 18 seconds to go in the first half.
You know, we hadn't called Gus Scott's name much tonight, where in last year it seemed like every time there was a big play we were saying Gus Scott on the play, but with them moving him back into the strong safety position rather than letting him play in the nickel package while he was playing linebacker close to the line of scrimmage, he's not getting as many hits, so he's got to take advantage of him like he did on that last play when he gets the opportunity.
Second, third down conversion opportunity of this possession, and the right tackle newly into the game. False starts. That's Wilbert Hamilton, who replaced Barker White, and that'll mark it back 5 yards.
Prior to the snap, false start, movement in the offensive line against the offensive team, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains 3rd down.
Okay, if you're writing that down, it's movement on the offensive line by the offensive team. Very important to differentiate, because when the defensive team moves on the offensive line, it's a whole different thing.
It was still movement. There's a good look at JT. John Thompson, the new defensive coordinator coming in from Arkansas. Got his troops playing pretty daggone good so far.
Now it's 3rd and 6. He brings some extra bodies up near the line, and they're blitzing. Hackney steps up and fires, caught, and then dropped at the 25 is Cleveland. He made the catch, got the first down, and they'll stop the clock to move the chains with 11 seconds until halftime, and they're going to line right up and either throw it into the ground to stop the clock or run another play.
There's a
Hackney took about 3 seconds to get that snap. I've never understood when you're doing that why you just don't get, everyone knows to get set, and then as soon as the whistle blows, just snap it.
Well, he was signaling to his team the whole time, even as they were moving the first down markers to his team to get down, because he wanted to ground the football. But you know, Hackney is very impressive for a redshirt freshman. Guy moves around pretty good and has a very lively arm and a very accurate arm.
I'm impressed with the young man. He's got a good drive going here. Now, though, a long play, and you can't even use your last time out, so they have to decide how much do they want to go for. Do they want to throw one quickly into the end zone and get 2 plays? Hackney sets up and fires. It's caught and then knocked loose. They rule it incomplete, and the clock winds to 1 second to go until halftime. So the ball was knocked loose, incomplete, and with 1 second, they got to decide what to do. Now they say the clock started up again. It's good to have your own clock operator sometimes. Stopped at 1, they blew the play dead, and all of a sudden 1 second ticks off. Watson Brown, not the least bit happy about it, is out arguing with the officials as the Gators head to the locker room. And we are going to halftime, and Watson Brown's UAB Blazers 34-0 on the scoreboard and 1 second short on the clock. And it is literally all Florida at intermission here in Gainesville.
Well, while Watson Brown is doing all his arguing, he should be happy that they didn't rule it a catch and a fumble, because it's 6 going the other way.
And time would have run out anyway. The Swamp, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Florida Field, the home of the Gators, where the Gators have been impressive in the first 30 minutes, 34-0. Gator football on Sunshine Network is brought to you in part by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. By Discount Auto Parts and Advanced Auto Parts, proud sponsors of the Florida Gators. And by Papa John's, the official pizza sponsor of the Florida Gators. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza.
This is Ben. Back in 1934, he was one of the very first customers ever to eat at Steak and Shake. Back then, they used to say you get the finest government-inspected meat served to order on a china plate at a fair price. Tell us, Ben, what was that like?
About like this.
Steak and Shake, famous for steak burger.
You have the ultimate power to look better, to be stronger, to redefine your body and yourself. Introducing the Bowflex Ultimate. Quite possibly the best home fitness machine ever made. In as little as 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, you can get real results that can change your entire body. With over 90 health club quality exercises and up to 410 pounds of resistance, it's like having an entire gym in your home. Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. Own the new Bowflex Ultimate with no money down and monthly payments lower than many health club dues. Call and ask for a free video and brochure, and check out the entire Bowflex lineup, or visit us on the web at bowflexultimate.com today. The new Bowflex for ultimate results.
Your sports news. Lightning, Miracle, Magic, Knowles, Knights, Gators. Nextel, Florida Sports News. Weeknights at 10.
The exotic aroma of rubber and fuel. A brilliant rainbow of cars blurring into the turns. The precision of choreographed pit crews. Have you ever wondered how they got there? Let Universal Technical Institute turn your passion for NASCAR into a rewarding career in automotive technology. Call now, 1-800-884-4262 to get on the fast track and begin your automotive training at UTI. NASCAR chose UTI, shouldn't you?
Get into business with America's oldest and largest shutter manufacturer, All Florida Hurricane Shutters, featuring Magnum Force, the complete line of hurricane protection products. Your customers can receive insurance discounts, comply with building codes, and find real peace of mind. All Florida Hurricane Shutters and the Magnum Force line of hurricane protection products, serving the state of Florida and the Southeast United States since 1954. Call 1-800-HURRICANE or visit our website.
Century Tower on the University of Florida campus. Great Gothic buildings all over this campus, and it's been a great performance for the Florida Gators in the first 30 minutes as the Gators lead UAB by a score of 34-0. Now, we're used to Graham and we're used to Jacobs, but Nat, pretty nice to see a guy get his first career touchdown in the first half.
Well, Larry, you're right. It's great to see Rand Carthen in there, but it's even better to see this offensive line who lost 3 starters from last year. There was some question marks. I think they've answered those questions as the Gators were able to run for 3 touchdowns here in the first half.
The Gators in command of this ball game as the Pride of the Sunshine performs, and the atmosphere will be a whole lot different next week when the Florida Gators do something they've not done in 16 years, host the Miami Hurricanes right here at Florida Field.
That means the big bad Hurricanes are coming to town, and those are some guys that defensively graduated a lot of people. Their secondary is where they're going to be weak at, but the defensive line and the linebackers, they're going to be very strong. They've got, the quarterback, Ken Dorsey coming back, as well as Andre Johnson. A very formidable quarterback-receiver combination. They've had some problems this year with injuries down there, Larry, during training camp, or should I say fall early camp, and they're getting people healthy, and they're going to come in here snorting.
That'll be some kind of atmosphere next week, but there's still 30 minutes of football to be played between the Florida Gators and the Blazers of UAB. We are at the half in the swamp. More of our halftime coming up. Stay with us here on Sunshine Network with Breakfast with the Gators.
Look what a little bit of Toyota clearance can get you.
A little bit of Forerunner in my life. A little bit of RAV4 by my side.
Toyota's clearance means a lot of value in SUVs. Check out Sequoia, Highlander, RAV4, and don't miss the final week of incredible savings on the legendary Forerunner. Hurry in for 0.0% APR financing for 24 months or $1,250 cash back on Forerunner. Now through September 3rd only. Get to Toyota's nationwide clearance today.
is about financial relationships. You have to reach out to make them work. They're most valuable when faced with the unexpected. Wisdom is everywhere. Uncommon wisdom is knowing how to apply it. Wachovia Securities.
My stainless steel beauty. I shall call you Lucille.
What? Steak and Shake, famous for steak burger.
Well, the Florida Gators came into their season opener wanting to establish that things haven't changed. And looking at the scoreboard, they haven't changed very much. 34-0, the Gators on top at the half here at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Florida Field, as the Ron Zook era is off to a very positive start in Gainesville. With that more, I'm Larry Vitale. Let's check out the highlights of the first half, and it starts off with a promise being fulfilled, Nat. The Florida Gators go to the ground and show that they can make it work.
117 yards by Ernest Graham in the first half, 2 touchdowns. Just an unbelievable job done first by that O-line. That's where it all starts. Good job of just piling it in there, following Willie Green into the end zone. And look at this, just great blocking outside. He's able to get all the way outside. Inside, outside runner, Ernest Graham, second touchdown of the day. And when you got offense, you got to have defense, as you see. Mike Natil coming on the blitz, comes inside, gets the sack. And then watch this play. Just a great effort by Todd Johnson coming on a blitz, stopping the drive. And then you just can't have highlights without Rex Grossman somewhere in there going to Taylor Jacobs on a 45-yard touchdown pass. And then to seal off the second half, who does he go to? That man again, Taylor Jacobs, as he beats Carlos Hendricks for his second touchdown of the day.
So Taylor Jacobs with a huge first half as well for the Florida Gators. And the Gators with a 34-0 first half lead. And we take a look at the numbers, and the numbers, as you would expect, all Florida, 411 yards.
But look at the average per play, Larry. 11.7 yards per play, and you're running the football. 306 yards total offense, 17 first downs to 7. Just total dominance by the Gators.
So the Florida Gators with a great first half, a 34-0 lead over the Blazers of UAB. And, boy, I tell you, that's about as good as it gets.
Well, when you can score 34 points and you're running the football as well as throwing the football, we talked about balance. The one thing that Ed Zombracker has been able to do is come in here and make it happen.
So that's the way it stands. Now one thing Ron Zook will want to do is continue to maintain that intensity as they get set for the second half of this ball game and maintain that type of play for the next 30 minutes and keep that momentum going. And let's go down to Steve Babick on the field with the coach.
Ron, first of all, first half, great start. First possession, score. How important was that?
I think it's very, very important. And, you know, obviously, we just talked to him at halftime. We got to come out and we got to do the same thing. I mean, we got to maintain the intensity, maintain the tempo, and we got to get better. Our goal is to come out of this game feeling good about all 3 phases. And, you know, right now we feel good, but we got to make sure we feel good at the end of the game.
Ernest Graham over 100 yards in the first half.
He's a good back. He's a tough back, and we've said it all along. He's a guy that can carry the mail for us.
Taylor Jacobs, what a great first half, too.
Excellent player. Rex is getting him in the ball and Rex is doing a great job of getting us in and out of plays.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Babs. As we get a look at Rex Grossman warming up for the second half, we'll see how much he will play in the second half of this game, as well as how much Ernest Graham and Taylor Jacobs play as well. Ernest with a great first half, and you know this is an opportunity for some other guys to get some really meaningful playing time as Florida establishes things.
Well, there's a look at some of the walk and wound it there as they come out. But, you know, one of the things you want to do is bring your guys out to start the third quarter, get them used to going in at halftime, making some adjustments coming out. You know, first game of the year, you don't want to play them too much, but you know that you've got to get them ready in case they've got to go the full ball game where they got to play 4 quarters. So I would anticipate that we might see him a drive or two here in the third quarter, and then he would pull his first teamers.
Well, Florida received to start the ball game, so UAB will get it to start the second half. They had a good scoring opportunity late in the first half, but could not convert as a pass was ruled incomplete and time was allowed to run out. before the end of the first half. Matt Petrovich to kick off for the Florida Gators. Southall and Roddy White are deep. Another driving kick. White takes it 4 yards deep, and he's not coming out. And so UAB will go on offense from its own 20-yard line. Gators have won 12 consecutive season openers. Their last setback opening day came against Ole Miss. Opening day 1989. This was not a happy town after that, although the Gators went on to win their next 5 ball games.
Well, you know, one of the things I worried about coming into this ball game, especially with Miami Hurricanes coming in here next week, looming so large, if some of these guys wouldn't take the Blazers lightly and not be prepared to play. But Ron Zook and his staff have done a great job of getting these guys mentally prepared and ready to play.
Gators actually playing 3 games this year before their conference opener, Miami, and then it'll be Ohio University before up to Tennessee to play the boys from Rocky Top. Cox on the keeper, still on his feet, and he picked up about 24 yards on the first snap of the second half before Arpedrol ends up getting a little piece of the tackle. You like the effort from a lineman. You don't like seeing your lineman 24 yards downfield.
And right here, you got to be disappointed with Arpedrol. Right there, he's got to keep outside containment. There he gets blocked by the tackle. The left tackle gets him hooked, and then that allows Cox to get outside for a big gainer. You know, as the defensive end, if you don't have support outside, you've got to get and maintain containment.
As a look at Mojo, Marcus Akendo Johnson calling his position bandit, the kind of speed end in the Florida alignment. There's the big fella Gibson, runs through an arm tackle. He's got 5 and then barrels on down to the 47-yard line. It'll be a gain of almost 9 yards on the play for Kendall Gibson, a sophomore from Aliceville. His twin brother's a defensive lineman on this Blazers squad.
Well, looked like the Blazers have found something over that left side, the Gators' right side of the defense, where they like it over there. And, you know, with success, you can expect them to keep running it there, Larry.
On second and short, the fullback up the middle, and I don't think he advanced the ball much, if at all. Maybe a length of the football, but it'll bring up 3rd down in less than a yard.
Well, Darrell Lee is over there now, and as he starts to try and come back, this time Darrell Lee stays at home. Ian Scott's right there in the hole. No running room.
3rd and 1 47.
So it's 3rd down and short. We'll see if they go with Gibson again or try something wide as they substitute personnel. You get Pittman in there as a blocking back type of guy, lined up on that little wing, kind of that H-back position on the right side. He comes in motion. They go inside. Dudley stopped on the first 2 hits and is a yard shy. He did not get back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th down for the Blazers.
Now, this is just a great job by the tackles, the defensive tackle, nose tackle, as they get great penetration. Here's a good look at right there. You see Savalio inside forcing Dudley to try and cut back, and then Darrell Lee comes in from his defensive end position, and well as Johnson, Okendo Johnson, to make the tackle. But a great job of getting penetration on 3rd down.
And they'll call timeout to talk it over as they're looking at 4th down and a yard, and maybe a little bit more than a yard after back-to-back running plays gained nothing. And we'll see what the Blazers call on 4th down when we return to the Swamp right here on Breakfast with the Gators.
What's going on?
I think they're having computer problems.
Why don't we ever seem to have computer problems?
Well, we have Dell's. They're super reliable. And if there is a problem, Dell's service and support can get us up and running right away.
That's not fair.
Get the performance and reliability your business needs today and tomorrow with a Dell Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for $699, or Dell Business Notebook starting at just $1199.
Ellen, could we have an occasional computer problem?
Because our computers work, that means we won't be working this weekend.
She's got a point.
Get great deals on Dell Business Systems, like a Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for $699. Right now, get a free CD burner upgrade on select Dell Business Systems.
So you're gonna be free this weekend then?
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
The network that's first in Florida sports. You're watching Sunshine Network.
It's your Dodge dealer's Labor Day clearance event. Everything is in place for some of the biggest savings of the year. Consumer cash allowance up to $3,000. Or 0% financing for 60 months on almost every 2002 Dodge that can save you over $7,000. Plus, our 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. The selection is big. The savings even bigger. The time to buy is now at your Dodge dealer.
Get into business with America's oldest and largest shutter manufacturer, All Florida Hurricane Shutters, featuring Magnum Force, the complete line of hurricane protection products. Your customers can receive insurance discounts, comply with building codes, and find real peace of mind. All Florida Hurricane Shutters and the Magnum Force line of hurricane protection products, serving the state of Florida and the Southeast United States since 1954. Call 1-800-HURRICANE or visit our website.
34-0 the score. The Florida Gators leading UAB. 11:02 to go third quarter. The Blazers on their first possession of the second half use 2 timeouts, facing 2nd and 11. Tune in Thursday night to Sunshine Network for a great program. Steve Goldstein and Jim Mad Dog Mandich invite you to tune in for Dolphins Live. Up to the minute news and in-depth analysis of what's going on with the Miami Dolphins, player and coach interviews and more, and they'll take your phone calls. That's Dolphins Live with Goldie and the Mad Dog, Thursdays at 6:30 right here on Sunshine.
And I tell you, Larry, the Dolphins will have a very good football team this year, bringing in Ricky Williams, got Robert Edwards, a former Georgia Bulldog that tore up his knee out in a flag football game in Hawaii, thought he would never play again. He's back, and Travis Minor, so they got a stable of backs, and they will be a team just like the Gators that are looking to run the football.
Willie Green out of Kissimmee Osceola, staying loose, pedaling the bike.
What's that tape on his wristband there with all that writing? Is that the plays?
I think he caught a couple ball plays on there.
Got a couple plays. And that number 2, what's that? Dive 34.
Run through the hole, ward off a guy, and let Ernest score. He ran it well twice. Fake into the line, throwing downfield, and that ball is incomplete. And they're going to call Cromartie for cutting off Chico Cleveland.
Pass intended for Chico Cleveland. Penalty flag.
So that'll move the ball down inside the 20-yard line for the Blazers, and it is now officially their best scoring opportunity of the night.
And I tell you, Larry, what they're trying to do there is take advantage of Robert Cromartie being 5'8" and Chico Cleveland 6'2", trying to throw a little alley-oop. And what Robert Cromartie does is he actually runs the route for the receiver, cuts him off, and he gets called for impeding the progress of the receiver.
So that'll put the ball at the 17-yard line for UAB. Crowd starts to make some noise at the north end of the stadium. They're on the option right side. Cox turns it up. He's got about 4. And then he is racked at about, might have gotten 5 yards. Got it down to the 12. Closer to 6 now that they spotted. I like the way this guy turns the corner. He's not dancing upfield. He is really turning the upfield with authority when he keeps it on the option.
Well, Cox is basically what you would call a option quarterback. And as he comes down the line of scrimmage, all he does is read, pulls it out. If the fullback doesn't have it, he pulls it out. He's very good at running the option and running the football. And he has tremendous speed, as we see there, because once he gets in the hole, he does a great job of accelerating, picking up positive yardage.
And little counter draw Took a while to develop, but Dudley ran through one possible tackle at the line of scrimmage and got forward to the 14, or inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 2 at the 9, and UAB has kept the ball for 5 minutes plus here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, they ended the second half with a pretty good little drive that ended close down to Gator pay dirt and were able to get it in. And here you come out in the 3rd quarter and show some confidence and move the ball down pretty good.
This is the kind of offense Watson Brown thought he'd have. There's a false start on the right side of the offensive line, where Coachman and Hamilton are side by side. I don't know which one or if both of them might have moved.
Movement in the offensive line. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 3rd down.
So now it's 3rd and 7. Let's see who moved.
I think it's the big tight end as well as the tackle. They both moved. Number 70, Wilbert Hamilton, as well as 89, Sam Dudley.
So instead of 3rd and 2, it's now 3rd and 7. Move the ball back to the 14, and the Gators go with more of a base defense as Westbrook checks out and Ferrier checks in. So even though it's a longer down in distance, they're going with more base. Gators are confused on their defensive assignments. Cox trying to take advantage, throws it out of the end zone.
Just had a Gator fan. Ball hit him in the perfect spot, right in the hands, and he dropped it. I guess he will not be a walk-on soon.
Got time to work on it. So they'll go for the field goal to try to break the shutout. As Nick Hayes, number 60, you don't see that on a kicker very often, will try to put him on the scoreboard, and he does exactly that. So the dream of a shutout is over with as UAB takes the second half kickoff, takes 6 minutes and 4 seconds off the clock, and puts 3 points on the scoreboard. And we've got a 34-3 score. 8:56 to play, 3rd quarter in the Swamp on opening day 2002. Breakfast with the Gators on Sunshine.
Your connection to the Gators is at GatorsZone.com, the official website of the Florida Gators. Get team rosters, bios, schedules, and statistics, plus audio and video highlights, and of course, the most up-to-date scores and stories on every Gator team. GatorsZone.com connects you to live broadcasts of every Gator football game, and you can follow every play of every home game with live streaming stats. You can even get game stats emailed to you instantly as soon as the game's over. Get in the Gator Zone today. GatorsZone.com, the official website of the Florida Gators, hosted by NPINet.
Whose idea was this? This is gonna get ugly. Real ugly.
Gatorade Fierce. So bold, it's fierce.
Great. Doubleheader.
Gator football on Sunshine Network is brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealers. The nationwide clearance event at your Toyota dealer now. By Wachovia Securities. Together we can achieve uncommon results. And by AT&T. Welcome to M-Life, AT&T Wireless. (34-3) the score for the Florida Gators as they try to wrap up an impressive season opening victory. A good start to the Zook era at the University of Florida as Ron Zook makes his debut as the Gator head coach. And the crowd has pretty much been into it all the way. The Gators scored an early touchdown. It got kind of quiet for a while until UAB moved it deep into Florida territory, and that woke the natives up, and then the Florida offense started to click. Rex Grossman, who I think still remembers what it's like to be on the field, gets ready for his first action, because UAB, they got about 4.5 minutes that they took up at the end of the second quarter, and the first 6+ of this quarter. They've had about 10 uninterrupted minutes of time of possession in this ball game.
You know, Larry, I'm getting a big kick out of watching Ron Zook on the sideline. Every time the special teams get ready to go out there, who's in the middle of the huddle? Somebody forgot to tell him he's the head coach.
He'll always be a special teams coach. I mean, there's that part of him that just loves the nature of the position. High risk, high reward, go for it, make a play that changes people's thoughts. There you see him. I bet he's warning them about it. I wouldn't be shocked by an onside kick here. I'd be tempted to get the hands team in there, because 34-3, why not?
Well, if you look at that front line, what do you have? Defensive backs.
Todd Johnson's up there. It's like Gus Scott and others.
Corey Bailey.
The rest of the
Lester Norwood
return team further back. Let's see if anything's up as the Blazers get set. No, they're kicking deep. There's some inexperienced blockers out there now. That's the bad part. Kelvin Kite reverses field. Oh, got caught from behind. Might have had a chance to liven this thing up if he had gotten around that corner, but he tried to turn the corner. But UAB's number 35, who's not on their traveling roster, so we don't have to worry, made the tackle.
Larry, when I was playing football, anytime they put the hands team and I was back returning kickoffs, I let it go. Hope it rolled into the end zone, so I didn't have to run the football.
If you're back with a teammate, you start yelling, you, right? You feel this one. There is not one guy up there that's thrown a block in their life. Ball at the 17-yard line for the Florida Gators. Their first play of the second half. Graham got a yard, maybe 2. And then he's driven backwards. Ernest Graham over 100 yards in the first half of this game. We talked about it'd be great for Carthon and others to get a few extra carries. Here you see 118 for Ernest. Moved into 10th place in school history. Passing, among others, Lorenzo Hampton today. Runs it right side. He's got 5 and a lot more. Ernest Graham to the 40. Graham cuts it back into open field. Needs a block. Makes his man turn around. One man to outrun. Can't do it. Can't do it. What a great play by Ernest Graham. But Chris Brown, the free safety, kept it from being a long touchdown.
Well, it might not be a long touchdown, Larry, but if you watch him as he breaks the line of scrimmage as many times as he reverses his field, stiff arms. Now watch this here. He has ran a long way. If he was able to just make a straight beeline to the goal line, he might have made it. But he was running out of gas.
And now Rand Carthon's into the ball game as Graham approaches. I mean, he's got a shot at a 200-yard game now. Grossman to throw for the corner, dropped. Aaron Walker almost had 6, but it bounced off his fingers and falls incomplete.
Aaron Walker runs a beautiful route, a corner route, against a cornerback, Jason Southall. This is just a perfectly thrown football, beautiful route, and the big fella just was not able to hold on. Down at the bottom of your screen, big number 82. You'd like to have that one back. You won't see him drop many footballs, but right there, he did not catch the ball in his hands. He tried to catch it in his body, and that hurt him.
Second and 10. Grossman loads of time. It's deflected. Just tried to sidearm it out in the flat to Carthon, and I think Hassan McKeithen got a paw on it and knocked it down, and brings up a 3rd down and 10 for the Florida Gators.
Just trying to get the ball to your tailback, and that's one of the things this offense will do, is get the ball in the tailback's hands as many ways as possible to allow them to use their running ability. And ball got swatted down that time.
Gators taking their time. Still plenty on the clock. If you don't huddle up, you can spend a lot more time at the line of scrimmage. Grossman fires way too strong. Aaron Walker coming clear at the 5, and Grossman threw it 6 yards deep in the end zone. So they had 6 on the first of those 3 plays. The other 2 didn't look so hot, and Florida will settle for its first field goal attempt of 2002.
And Larry, this ball actually sails on Rex as he sees Aaron Walker come free through the middle of the field. They catch him in a cover 2 defense, and he tries to get the ball to him in a hurry, and it sails on him, and that's why it's incomplete.
Placement is down. Leach's kick looks true, and it is. So the Gators answer UAB's field goal with one of their own, and Matt Leach connects on his first field goal attempt as a collegian. The kid was a punter last year for the Gators, switches to place kicking duties, and so far he's done pretty well. 4 for 5 extra points and his first field goal try.
I have a question for you.
Oh, good.
Being that he was such a good punter last year, and now that he's the field goal kicker, is there a rule that you can't do both?
No.
Oh, I just thought I'd ask.
Damon Duvall at Auburn last year did both very well against Florida. Won about 4 games in the last seconds, and then didn't make many kicks after that. I think they celebrated too long after the Gator game, but Leach came here to be a place kicker, not to be a punter, and actually won the punting job by default, and I think is a happier camper doing what he wants to do, which is the place kicking.
Yeah, because if you're the punter, you must catch the football first.
And they hardly ever tackle place kickers. Punters seem to get hit a lot, especially if LeVar Arrington's around.
Oh, come on. If
Remember that a couple years ago? I mean, it was Temple or who the heck it was playing, but he got about 4 personal fouls roughing the punter. Not right after the kick, just on the return. Instead of peeling back to block, he just waited to catch the punter.
I saw him play when Washington played the Buccaneers the other night. I thought they were going to get a couple penalties for roughing everybody.
Personal foul, just too darn rough. Number 56.
Man. Is he going to be a load?
Yeah. Jim Collins, former Gator assistant, coaching. He's the position coach for LeVar Arrington. Talking with Jim this summer, said, yeah, he can make you look like a pretty good coach. So the kickoff is downed, and UAB will go to work offensively at the 20. With 7:10 to play, and I know right now Ron Zook and the defensive coaching staff want to see a 3-and-out or something as close to that as possible, because they really haven't had the last 2 possessions that UAB's had has gone for a pretty darn long time. Well, you can keep up with the Florida Gators. Check out stats, check out schedules. All the information you want on your Florida Gators can be found at GatorZone.com. It's the place to go for all the news on Florida Gator sports. Plus, you can order your official Gator merchandise right there online at GatorZone.com, the official website of the Florida Gators. Get in the zone. From the 20, Hackney now in the ball game. Hackney drilled as he throws it, and it's incomplete. Late pressure coming on the backside from Bobby McCray.
Bobby McCray, if you remember last year, opening game had 2 sacks, and here you see him coming around the corner just a half a step late from getting his first sack of the 2002 season.
Bobby out of Homestead. He's a guy many think can be that pass rusher that other teams have to game plan for, figure out where he's going to be. On 2nd down, they run the little delayed handoff to Burks. Burks has ridden from the 18 down to about the 21 or 2. Mike Nattiel climbed aboard for the pony ride, and it's 3rd and 8.
And Larry, it was just great watching Mike Nattiel read the play and then not commit, forcing Burks to finally commit one way or another, and then sliding over, making the tackle. Sometimes you see young linebackers, they commit before the back does, and they get beat. They come one way, the back goes the other way.
See Reed Fleming checking into the Florida lineup, along with Corey Bailey, number 7, in a nickelback spot for Florida defensively. On 3rd and 8. Hackney flushed out of the pocket, has running room. He's got a first down and more to the 35 to 36-yard line. So once again, UAB connects on 3rd down. They were 1 for 7 at one point, but they have certainly picked up the pace on 3rd down conversions.
And I talked about guys running themselves out of plays. Right here you see Bam Hardeman runs himself out of the play. Of course, once Darrell Hackman sees that, he takes off. You know, he sees clear green. There's nobody in front of him. He's got to go.
So with the ball at 36, the Blazers keep possession inside 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. 37-3, the Gators on top. Hackney sets, fires, and broken up. Nice coverage that time from Robert Cromartie, who closed on the receiver and knocked the ball away.
Now, here's what I don't understand. Robert Cromartie is your most experienced cornerback. He's a fifth-year senior. Why are you throwing at him versus throwing at Ratliff?
Now, Ratliff's pretty good, too. At least Ratliff played last year. Maybe they think Robert's rusty. He hadn't played.
Bad choice.
Missed half of 2000 with an ankle injury. Played the second half of 2000 and missed all of last year.
Well, you think maybe by the fourth quarter they'll realize that he's not rusty?
Yeah, probably Monday. Hackney throws complete to Simmons. Simmons turns it upfield and is knocked out of bounds very close to the first down at the 46. It's going to be short by about a foot. And it'll bring up third down and short. So the Gators not getting the 3-and-out defensively. In fact, UAB about a foot and a half away from moving the chains for a second time.
3rd and 1 at the 45.
Miami next week for the Gators, then Ohio U, and then conference play begins in Knoxville against the Tennessee Vols. Third and short, Hackney, I don't know. The one thing I won't say is it all depends on the spot, because it always depends on the spot. Doesn't matter if he ran to the 40. If they spot him at the backwards, then he didn't get it. But they give him the progress, and they give him the first down across the 46-yard line.
Well, he didn't get it easily, as you see. Great penetration by the Gators, as you see Reed Fleming going over the top. Darrell Lee coming from his defensive end position, pulling him out of there.
Well, I see how his helmet might have gotten somewhere, but that ball was down around his rib cage and didn't get anywhere close to the line of scrimmage. But he got the spot, and that gives him a first down, and that's all that matters. Burks on the carry, and he gets swarmed for a loss of a couple at the 44. Tron LeFavor, Natil in that pile of defenders for the Gators.
Now take a good look at Hackney. Right here, he's reading Okendo Johnson. Right there, he sees he stays out there. He gives the ball to Burke. If Okendo Johnson starts to slide down the line, he pulls that out, Larry, and he comes out the back door.
Loss of 2, second down and a dozen. Lee jump and the right tackle move, and they complete a pass, and Cromartie gets a lick in just for grins. Now they could call this on Lee for being in the neutral zone, making the right tackle jump. We'll see if how they adjudicate this one. We do know it won't come. This one's pretty quick. They have long conferences, these guys.
Prior to the snap, offsides on the defense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
So that'll make it 2nd and 7. It did appear Lee jumped in first.
Well, a lot of time it's just a matter of breaking the neutral zone, which is what Darrell Lee does, and he forces number 70, Hamilton, to move. But one of the things that officials are doing more of now, Larry, not only in college but also in the NFL, is they're coming together, having a huddle so that they can get the call right the first time.
So on 2nd down, Hackney back to throw. They get him out of the pocket. He fires, and it's incomplete. Sliding receiver trying to make the catch over there for UAB. That's Bradley Chavez, and he couldn't bring it in. And Florida putting a little bit of a rush on Mr. Hackney that time.
Yeah, but he's got so much speed and quickness right here. You get pressure by Mike Natil, but watch Hackney just sort of feels the pressure and is big and strong, is able to get rid of the football to avoid the sack. The Gators have come close quite a few times, but have not been able to get there. Somehow or another, he escapes the pressure, gets rid of the football, avoiding the sack.
I believe that sack by Natil, the only sack officially for the Gators in this ball game. Yes, that's our info, and we've got the time clock running out. So 3rd and 7 will become 3rd and 12.
Prior to the snap, delay of game against the offense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains 3rd down.
And the question is, on 3rd and 12, with the success they've had now converting on 3rd down and keeping the football, do you come after them or do you keep a spy? Because once you vacate the middle, the quarterbacks are taking off, picking up the 1st down on their own with their legs.
One thing blitzing teams like is a stationary target. Thrown high and wide to Simmons. And it'll be 4th down, and the Blazers will likely kick it back to the Florida Gators. So the Gator defense stiffens, helped a little bit by a penalty. And they'll get the ball back for the offense. 4:16 to play. We're in the 3rd quarter. John Thompson greets his charges as they come off the field. Florida's played quite a few guys in this opening game defensively, but I think there are probably more they'd like to get in. We've not seen, I don't believe at all, Travis Harris, Todd McCullough, a couple of linebackers that are in the 2 deep for Florida. There's a punt, a high drifting kick, fair catch called for at the 8-yard line. And that's where the Gators will go on offense. 4:07 to play in the 3rd. The Gator offense looks to crank it up again in the swamp.
Hey, brother.
They're doing it again.
Oh, okay. You gonna take that, huh? Be a man. Stand up for yourself, all right? You gotta step up to the plate. Break it out, man. It's time.
Competition is just beginning. It's the new season of Junkyard Wars, Wednesday at 9 on TLC.
Big cleanup in the cafeteria.
This is the rarest U.S. $20 gold piece and the single most valuable coin ever struck. Our Treasury Department estimates it's worth at up to $8 million. When President Roosevelt ordered the destruction of gold coins in 1933, one single coin escaped meltdown. Then it was sealed in a vault at the World Trade Center. Again, the Double Eagle escaped fate when it was moved to Fort Knox only 8 months before the terror attack. Soon it will become the single most valuable coin ever struck. To mark this historic event, National Collectors Mint has released its 1933 Double Eagle proof. It's the rarest U.S. government $20 gold piece as a 10 mil pure gold proof. And it can be yours for just $19.95 while supplies last. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller. Call now.
To order your 1933 Gold Double Proof, call 1-800-787-8844. That's 1-800-787-8844. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller. Call now.
Home to championship boxing. Sunshine Network.
Florida back to work on offense as we pick up things here in the 3rd quarter. The crowd enjoying the action. Rand Carthon picks up 6 yards on the 1st down effort. It'll be 2nd and 4 from the 14. Grossman again gives to Carthon. Rand gets to the 16, and then he's driven backwards a couple of yards shy of the 1st down.
And Larry, the Gators are stuck with bad field position starting at the 7-yard line because Kewan Ratliff at no point should have caught that football inside the 10-yard line. As a defensive coordinator, you usually tell the guy to stand on the 10-yard line. If you have to back up, let it go. That time he fair caught the football, forced the Gators to start deep in their own territory.
And here they need a couple. And this is part of the mindset of the Gator offensive line that Joe Wickline's trying to develop. When you need 2 yards, line up and get it. UAB brings a lot of guys into the box. Florida challenges them and beats them at the point of attack for a 1st down. So 3 straight carries for Carthon, moves the ball 11 yards to the 19. It gives the Florida Gators a 1st down.
Continually good blocking in short yardage situation by that right side, Jonathan Cologne and David Jorgensen.
I don't know if Florida's subbed up front offensively tonight. Grossman looking for Jacobs. He's got him. Taylor Jacobs trying to spin free, and then he takes a shot at the 40 or 41-yard line. A pickup of about 22 on the play.
Great pass protection by the offensive line as Rex Grossman was able to sit back there and scour the entire field and then deliver the ball to his favorite target, Taylor Jacobs, for the first down. There you see Chris Hunter holding on for dear life. Just don't go anywhere.
Taylor looking for a couple more of those yaks. Yards after catch from the 40. Grossman looking deep. There's number 6 again, and he's got it at the 5-yard line. First and goal. There's a flag on the play in the backfield. And it's coming back.
Well, it might come back, Larry, but this is pitch and catch at its finest.
Oh, that was a beautiful long throw covering 55 yards.
Personal foul, face mask against the offense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains first down.
Don't see offensive linemen called for a personal foul face mask very often. Let's take a look.
Let's go back and see if we can see what happens here, because this is a big play call and being called back. And there you see a hand up to the face by Shannon Snell as he's getting great pass protection. But I guess when you stick that paw up under the face mask, you sort of control the defender.
I don't think the O-line coach is going to like that flag.
I know Taylor Jacobs don't.
Cost him 55 yards and a school record. Under pressure, a little shovel pass. Carthen gets out of trouble and scoots ahead for about 10 yards. So he got 10 of the 15 back on that play. And it'll bring up 2nd and 15 from the 35. Carthen checks out and Willie Green checks back in.
Now watch this. Little shovel pass. He breaks the tackle. There's no faking. It's north and south. I'm getting as much as I can get so that we'll have second and good situation. Second and good situation as far as yardage goes.
So from 1st and 25 to 2nd and 15. Grossman fires into traffic. Wow, he was looking for O.J. Small, and O.J. was in the middle of a team meeting of the UAB coverage.
Both linebackers, Black and Woodfin, getting good coverage, good depth, seeing the release of the football, able to react and knock it away. Came very close to being intercepted. But then again, they're defensive players, and their job was to knock the ball down.
And they did it.
They accomplished it.
3rd and 15. Jacobs to the near side. One corner here. The safety kind of leans over, but they're leaving him alone with Jacobs again. Grossman under pressure, hit twice and dropped at about the 31-yard line. So Rex Grossman will kind of sort of hobble off the field.
Well, DeJohn Hart comes on the blitz.
He's caused Florida more trouble than anyone, I think, on the pass rush, that speed guy on the outside.
Yeah, he's a small guy, 6'2", 220 for a defensive end, but has great speed and gets into the backfield, beats Jonathan Cologne on the snap, forces Grossman to pull the ball down.
UAB with a lot of guys coming, and there's another awful kick. Wobbles to the 50 and bounces out of bounds at the 49. And that'll be a 17-yarder. So the Florida punting job won by Jason Hunter, and he has had a tough day. His first kick was pretty good, but since then he's had some very difficult punts, and UAB will get great field position.
Not only will UAB get great field position, but when the University of Miami sees these kicking films, you can bet they will come after him time after time again until he shows that he can catch the football, handle the pressure, and get it out of there.
Here you see what's happened offensively for the Blazers. 197 yards of total offense, but they've moved it better their last 3 possessions. The Gators haven't really been able to take it away or get sacks. There's Borders, tackled by Gus Scott, but not before a first down at the 31-yard line. Kenny Borders, from Tallahassee's FAMU High School. Kenny Borders, high school teammate of Taylor Jacobs. And now they're playing against each other, although not covering each other.
Well, Kenny Borders would like to be Taylor Jacobs right now with the show that he's putting on. But I am extremely impressed with Daryl Hackney, a guy that does a great job of avoiding pressure, running with the football, but when he has an open receiver, he puts the ball on the money.
The real challenge for Watson Brown, what do you do when your two best players are quarterbacks? That may be the case. Hackney tucks it in. He's got 5, runs over a defender on his way to the 23-yard line. And that'll be a gain of about 9 yards on the play. Deshaun Carter, reserve corner into the game for the Gators defensively, and he was the one that was hit by Hackney at the 25. That's the end of the third quarter at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. The fans sway in the stands to "We Are the Boys" as we head to the fourth.
Look what a little bit of Toyota clearance can get you.
A little bit of Forerunner in my life. A little bit of RAV4 by my side.
Toyota's clearance means a lot of value in SUVs. Check out Sequoia, Highlander, RAV4, and don't miss the final week of incredible savings on the legendary Forerunner. Hurry in for 0.0% APR financing for 24 months or $1,250 cash back on Forerunner. Now through September 3rd only. Get to Toyota's nationwide clearance today.
When you can find the nearest locksmith. When you can check a movie time. And tell your friends you're running late. When you can find the right words to open a door. When you can do all this with a calling plan starting at $19.99 a month, that's M-Life. From AT&T Wireless. There's never been a better time to stop by an AT&T Wireless store, authorized dealer, or call 1-800-IMAGINE.
What makes bodies in motion remain in motion? What makes what goes up stay up? And what makes what goes down get back up? Whatever it is, it ain't physics.
Steak, burgers, and milkshakes. Good enough to name a restaurant after. Thinking of a hand-dipped milkshake? You are now.
There are 2 ways to get your sandwich made to order. 1, at a fast food place, look for the empty ramp and order what isn't in it. Or 2, drive over to Steak and Shake and get anything you want.
Steak and Shake, cooked to order.
Football on Sunshine Network is brought to you in part by Napa. Best parts, best service, best price. By Minute Maid, the Simply Orange Juice Company. Simply Orange, 100% unfooled around with. And by Dish Network. Sack cable and get the lowest all-digital price in America. G-A-T-O-R-S spells it out for the Florida Gators. 37-3 is our score as we get set to start action in the fourth quarter with Steve Babick and Nat Moore. Larry Vitale with you. And there you see the numbers after 3 quarters. And UAB's done a little bit more damage.
A little bit more, put a few more yards on the offense there, but
Hackney hit as he throws, and then Quinney hit as the ball goes over his head.
What's amazing is this kid continually gets rid of the football, Larry, right before the defender gets there. I mean, once again, you get pressure coming from the blind side. He doesn't see him, but he feels the pressure. He gets rid of the football.
So it brings up another third down, 3rd and short at the 23. They need just maybe an eyelash longer than a yard. 5 for 14 tonight, but 4 of their last 6, I believe. They run inside, nothing at all there. That'll be a loss back to the 24-yard line. Pittman got the carry, and he had nowhere to go.
Gators doing a great job of stacking up that middle. Getting penetration into the backfield.
Loss 1. 4 down at the 24.
You think they'll go for it?
I would hope. I would hope they'd get a little moxie and say, yeah, why not? They sub in, taking their time. 3 guys came in, only 2 left. Now a 3rd guy heads out. 10 seconds on the play clock. They're still in the huddle. They got their other 4th down conversion. Now they try again. Hackney flushed out of the pocket, but again avoids the tackle. Now throws it up for grabs in the end zone and out of the end zone. Tremendous pressure on Hackney. He ended up losing his hat and losing possession of the ball as arpege roll, and Ian Scott, Darrell Lee all put pressure on the young freshman. And the Gator offense will get the ball back with 14 minutes to play in the game.
Well, this young freshman out of Atlanta, Georgia, just does a great job of making people miss him. He's so strong, keeps good vision downfield. Now watch here. Right there, he knows he can't escape. He gets rid of the football. Ball just sails on him as he's trying to get the ball to a receiver. Number 6 there, Kendall Gibson, in the back of the end zone.
So Hackney goes over to the sidelines, and the Gators are going to get their backup quarterback into the ball game as Ingle Martin has checked in. They run a little inside handoff.
That's Willie Green. No, excuse me. Rand Carthon on the carry.
Martin out of Nashville, Tennessee. Redshirt freshman. He has not played before. Very good athlete. Now you want to throw a little option that way. He can run with the ball with anybody. Had a very good orange and blue scrimmage. Throws it quickly and throws it wide. Flag on the play as UAB came on the blitz and gotten too good of a head start.
Prior to the snap, false start against the offense, movement in the offensive line, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains 2nd down.
It was the Gators who got the head start on that snap, so the dead ball penalty moves it back to the 21. It'll be 2nd down and 13 for Ingle Martin.
21.
There's a lot of question about the backup QB situation when Brock Berlin left, but Martin kind of put everyone's mind at ease with a very good spring. Sets up to fire and fires into traffic, into the ground, and incomplete.
Ingle Martin's pass intended for number 2.
Rex Grossman, a good start to his 2nd season, or 2nd run at the Heisman, I guess we could say, after a great year last year. Rex comes out and fires for 337, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. The interception, you may remember, a flag was thrown on a DB and then waved off, so the interception counted. Also should have had a 3rd TD pass, but had that dropped in the end zone.
A couple drop balls, as well as the long pass to Taylor Jacobs. About a 50-yarder that was called back.
Martin completes the pass to Jacobs. Jacobs spins, twists, and moves it on up to the 40-yard line. It's 19 yards on the play for Taylor Jacobs.
And Larry, I think, I could be wrong, but he might have just become the all-time receiver as far as yardage in a single ball game, passing Carlos Alvarez from back in 1969. I think you were back there doing it.
I was 11 when that all was going on. Carthon carries for a yard or 2. 246 yards receiving for Taylor Jacobs. You had about 182 for Ernest Graham. And there you see a single game record for the senior from Tallahassee's FAMU High School. Not bad his last 2 games. And in the Orange Bowl, 18 catches for 416 yards and 4 TDs in his last 2 games. That's a career for a lot of people.
Would you say that he's Rex's favorite target now?
Oh, yeah. Nice pass to O.J. Small. Small turns it upfield and is run out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. And there you see the mobility that Ingle Martin gives you.
And that's a big thing because, you know, usually with a team that throws the football, you want to be able to bring those defensive ends and get pressure. But when you got quarterbacks that are mobile like Ingle Martin that can get outside and throw the ball accurately, as you see him square up his shoulders, gets the ball to O.J. Smalls for a first down.
Willie Green through the defense. Willie inside the 20-yard line.
And Willie Green, for the first time, Larry, is getting some action with the first team line. Normally when he's in the ball game, it's always mop-up duty, which was last year when he finally got a chance to play. This time he's getting a chance to play with the #1 unit.
Usually when I was in the game, it was lawn maintenance duty. Time to cut the grass for the next game. Martin on a quarterback keeper. Inside the 15, inside the 10, barrels over a man and takes it to the 5-yard line. First and goal.
Ingle Martin, 6'2", 220 pounds, that said, I'm a quarterback, but I love to play like a linebacker. You guys have shown us that your quarterbacks can run. Let me show you what I can do. And watch him just take on the free safety, Chris Brown, and just actually runs right over him.
Well, Grant Carthon got his first TD in this game. Let's see if someone else can get a career first. Willie Green, nothing there. Willie scored a touchdown last year against Vandy, so it wouldn't be a career first for him. O.J. Small could be a career first if they threw to him. O.J. 1 catch last year, 2 tonight. So he has picked up the pace.
Ingle Martin could be a first.
Absolutely.
Tonight.
Matt Jackson's in the game. He caught a TD as a freshman in 2000, but did not score last year. Second and goal. Martin keeps. Martin bounces off a tackle and then is collared and dropped at the 10, a loss of about 5. It'll be third and goal for the Gator offense as the clock takes us inside 11 minutes to play.
Well, this play was doomed from the start. They just are outmanned here on the left side. You just don't have enough people to block them as they come with the blitz from outside. They bring everybody on the right side of the defense, left side of the offense, and there's just nowhere to go with the football.
3 receivers split right, troop the tight end on the left side on third and goal. Martin to throw, drifting, now running to get away from pressure. He's got a lot of open field. He's got the 5. Martin to the goal line. Did not get in. Just shy of the end zone. It's 4th and inches for the Gator offense.
And Larry, this is when you know this is a freshman or a rookie. Right here, he gets outside. He sees one thing, the goal line. Normally, a quarterback is trying to get close to this out of bounds, get out of bounds, don't take the punishment. This kid says, I won't pay dirt.
Florida lined up as if to no huddle, then backs off, and Martin calls the play. Theatric face-on out of Jacksonville has checked in. This might be his first carry as a Gator, number 4. He gets it. He's in.
Do you call that the power eye?
It's a lot like the old power eye, isn't it? So Theatric face-on, who committed to the Gators a week after National Signing Day for the next year. A week after the signing day in 2000, he announced he was going to be a Gator, played his senior year, and his career's off to a good start.
And the key here, Larry, you see you got 3 backs going up in the hole, but they all start from 4 yards. You know, so many teams go with the I-back 7 yards deep, and it's a long development play. Right here, you got everybody there. It's happening right now. No chance of getting penetration.
And an impressive opening day continues for the Florida Gators as they approach 600 yards of total offense and lead by 41.
Everyday folks in your hometown come to Napa Auto Parts for the best parts in the business. Domestic or import, Napa has prices to fit any budget and parts to fit any car. So when the time comes to buy parts for your car, truck, van, or boat, come to Napa for the best parts, best service, and the best price. Register to win a Ron Zook autographed football at participating Napa Auto Parts stores today. No purchase necessary. See store for details.
We keep America running.
Your connection to the Gators is at GatorsOwn.com, the official website of the Florida Gators. Get team rosters, bios, schedules, and statistics, plus audio and video highlights, and of course, the most up-to-date scores and stories on every Gator team. GatorsOwn.com connects you to live broadcasts of every Gator football game, and you can follow every play of every home game with live streaming stats. You can even get game stats emailed to you instantly as soon as the game's over. Get in the Gator Zone today. GatorsOwn.com, the official website of the Florida Gators, hosted by MPINet.
Get all the intensity, every second of drama, wrapped up in one amazing package. Jaguar's multi-game package is now on sale, and the best games of the year can be yours for one low price. See the Jaguars face off against their biggest rivals when the Redskins, Steelers, and Titans hit the field. It's 3 amazing games, one amazingly low price. Think of it as pure adrenaline wrapped in a neat little package. Call 633-2000 and reserve your multi-game package today.
With Steve Babbitt and Nat Moore, Larry Vitale with you on Sunshine Network. We're glad you're tuned in for Breakfast with the Gators. We thank our live pay-per-view audience statewide as well. Hope you're enjoying it. A good opening night for Rex Grossman, trying to do what Herschel Walker did, finish second in the Heisman and win it the next year.
And he's just had a phenomenal night of leading this offense, have made some great throws to Taylor Jacobs, putting the ball right on the money, hitting him in perfect stride both times for touchdowns, and then also hit Aaron Walker in perfect stride, but he dropped it. 2 touchdowns here tonight. 2 touchdown passes, that is.
And there you see Ernest Graham. We talked at the top, we knew these 3 could play. 337 for Grossman, 246 for Jacobs. And Ernest Graham, 182 yards, a career best for Ernest, and one of the 12 best running games in school history. And that's a first for UF to have a 150-plus rusher and a 200-plus receiver in the same game.
Well, we asked for balance. I think we got it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Rex Grossman tonight bypassed Steve Spurrier for career completions to move into 7th spot.
He passed him on yards and touchdowns a long time ago. That's for sure. He passed Kerwin Bell in touchdowns tonight. He was one behind Kerwin, so he's going to pass a lot of people on the record charts if he stays healthy this year, as apparently will Taylor Jacobs, and perhaps Ernest Graham will move up a few notches as well. Not much running room, and Roddy White is kind of run out of bounds by a host of Gators at around the 19-yard line. So the kick coverage with Petrovich and company has done the job.
Well, Petrovic that time was a little bit more happy that he got in on the play and really put the hat on somebody.
Long time no see. Let's go down to the field and Steve Babbitt. Breaks over.
When Ron Zook was hired, he said that Florida would be able to run the ball. He didn't say we'll be a running team. He said we will be able to run the ball. Over 200 yards running, 4 different running backs, a quarterback that ran the ball with Ingle Martin. So you see that the impact that Larry Fedor and Ron Zook and Ed Zombrecker, all those guys collaborating, saying, hey, what can we do better than last year's Florida team? Be able to run the ball. They've done it pretty well tonight.
217, the official total rushing category at this point for the Gators.
And Larry, I hate to let Steve know, but he left out the most important guy. Joe Wickline and them big horses up front is the reason that we're able to run the football.
Absolutely. You got to knock him out of the way. And there's Joe, an offensive lineman for the Florida Gators in the late 70s.
Still looked like an offensive lineman, too. A little weight there. Pudge over the belt.
That's Nat, Joe, if you're watching the replay. Good guy. Boy, is he happy to be on this campus. He was at Middle Tennessee last year when they were 3rd in the nation in total offense. Larry Fedor, the Gator running backs coach, also part of that Middle Tennessee staff. And they didn't take everything with them when they left because Middle Tennessee scared the daylights out of Alabama today before falling 39-34.
Well, you lose a couple coaches, but you know that there's got to be a sound program when you put up the numbers that they put up there. I think they were 5th in total offense last year in the country, so you know that Middle Tennessee has some firepower there. Also, Arpege Roll, I jumped on him last time for not staying at home. This time he stayed at home. He learned from his mistake, stayed at home, made the play as the play came out the back door.
On 3rd down, Hackney wide open. Simmons makes the catch and tackles himself at the 36-yard line. My goodness, somebody didn't get the right call on the coverage because there was nobody near the wide receiver.
Well, blown assignment by the corner. He's giving depth. I think he has deep third. Lester Norwood, everybody's backing out of there. Nobody covers the flat.
Inside 8 minutes to play. The Gators 44, the Blazers 3, and now the Gator defense can't get the shutout, but goal 2 has to be to keep them out of the end zone. Hackney steps away, stripped to the ball, and the Gators recover, but it was Darrell Lee coming off the corner, making a terrific strip, and Tron Lefevre fell on it.
Well, if you continue to get after it time after time again, eventually you will get there. They've had plenty of shots at trying to get to Hackney, and he's always been able to step up. This time, Darrell Lee, even though he's being pushed by the quarterback, reaches out, swipes the ball away. Tron Lefevre recovers the football.
Here you see Darrell Lee, big defensive end out of Kirkwood, Missouri, outside of St. Louis. He's a guy who's going to have to be a big-time producer for this defense as they face a much greater challenge next week. But the Miami Hurricanes coming to town. On first down, they run a little option. Willie Green can't turn the corner, can't get away from the defense, and is dropped at the 31-yard line, a loss of 2, maybe 3 yards on the play. And it'll be second down. Gators now with Bobby Williams in. Rod Dowdy is in as an offensive guard. There's also checked in Randy Hand on the offensive line, a true freshman offensive lineman who's made the 2 deep up front for the Gators. Martin backing away, flips it to Ben Troop. The tight end makes the catch, makes 2 men miss, still on his feet. Ben Troop inside the 15. Ben Troop is going to score. What an effort from the Florida tight end. There is a flag. UAB's pointing at the Gators. Sometimes when you cut back, someone gets called for a push on the back as the defender turned around.
During the run, illegal block in the back against the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The result of the play is a first down.
Well, Ben Troop, just a sensational play. It's a shame that's called back on him again, but when you get crisscrossing down, let's see.
And this is just a great effort. And right here, there's no reason to throw that block. Number 72, Lance Butler, there's no reason. Your man is in the open. You don't throw. If you can't see the numbers, you instructed Larry not to throw the block.
So the ball instead at the 16. They do get a first down out of it. Here's Willie Green. Willie Green gets about 5, maybe 6 yards. He got close to the 10-yard line on the play. Boy, Ben Troop last season caught 9 passes, 1 of them for a touchdown. The Gators had a chance at a tight end touchdown earlier. They didn't catch it. So they had a second chance there and got it called back on a block. And again, that's one of those where it had nothing to do with the play, and most officials don't throw the flag, but these guys don't miss a chance.
Well, you just can't make that mistake.
Martin flips it, and it falls incomplete. Trying to get it to Kelvin Kite, but kind of hard to get much on the throwing backwards like that. Back on your heels, and it'll be third down.
And he was getting hit by Zach Woodfin, Mike linebacker, coming on the blitz. As Martin got outside, tried to buy some time to complete the football, but just couldn't get anything on it as he was getting hit.
On 3rd and 4, they'll run it. Green cuts it inside, can't get anywhere. Got it close to the 8-yard line. It'll be 4th and a couple. And the crowd starts cheering, go. They want to go for it. with 5:45 to play and a 44-3 advantage, and apparently they're gonna. They talked the new boss into something.
Well, this is the opportunity to get a chance to look at your reserves and see what they can do in crucial situations. And 4th down and 2 is extremely crucial in maintaining possession of the football.
Martin steps up and fires complete. 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Antoine Sharp out of Jacksonville makes the catch. Eagle Martin continues to have a pretty good day moving the football, moving the Gator offense.
Doing a good job of running this new offense.
Gators closing in on 50. And nothing gained there as they ran off the left side. There were a host of defenders also in the game. Dwayne DeBose, did not mention him, and Lance Butler, I believe, is checked in at right tackle. Some of the young Gators getting in there, and oh, here comes that power I backfield. Snell, Carthon, and Green will stay in there. Aaron Walker also checks back in, so it'll be double tight with those 3 running backs. This play's worked quite well each time they've run it. They run it again, and this time it doesn't work quite as well. Picked up yardage inside the 1, but short of the end zone. And it's 3rd and inches.
And not to cut you off, Larry, but the thing that you see with this formation is they're going to get movement. Look at the movement they get there, and then you just run right up the tailbacks or the fullbacks back. Keep your legs moving, you're going to pick up a couple yards.
On 3rd down, it's a touchdown, Willie Green. Greenjoy's face on, and Carthon and Graham running for touchdowns tonight for the Florida Gators.
I'll tell you this here, when the University of Miami sees this film, they will spend at least 15 minutes a day working on how do you stop this power running play on short yardage and goal line.
And the extra point is good, so Leach connects again. 6 extra points and a field goal for him. And the Gators have stretched it out 51-3 in the Swamp.
Season long on the network that's first in Florida sports. Sunshine Network.
Hey, son. Hey, Coach. Studying show tapes, huh? Yeah. Good. Because this season the machines will be all new, bigger, and more outrageous than ever. And frankly, the other teams are a lot smarter than you. Better engineers, better welders, and more creative.
And better looking.
Well, good night.
Wow, this season's gonna be tough.
Good night.
It's the new season of Junkyard Wars, Wednesday at 9 on TLC.
I may not drive fast anymore, at least on the racetrack. Hurry up, pick it up. But I still know what fast is. Good job. That's why I use Goodies. Because it's powdered, Goodies dissolves faster than tablets, so it gets rid of the headaches fast. Go. The clock's ticking. Not bad, kid. Goodies headache powder. It's just plain fast.
The play of the game is brought to you by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers, and the play of the game was the debut of Ron Zook as the head coach of the Florida Gators. That was the play, and then he said down close they're going to run it, and he let it be known on the very first drive for the very first score, the first of many, first of 7 Gator touchdowns. Our Steak and Shake play of the game.
A double. give me a double when I go to Steak and Shake.
Not the first time you've ordered a double either. 128 to play in this contest. We'd like to thank all the folks who put in all the work on tonight's ball game. Our executive producer for Sunshine Network, Ned Tate. Tonight's game produced by Jerry Wetzel and directed by Jimmy Lee Starling. Our production supervisor, Mickey Carruthers, and production coordinator, Lynn Mixon. Technical director is Ed Smith. And of course, we want to thank our crew in the booth as well, who do a great job all season long, and particularly my sidekick, Nat Moore, Steve Babick, and everybody behind the camera, everyone who does all the real work, so we get to come up here and have a great time. We appreciate all their work in bringing you the ball game from here at the Swamp, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Florida Field. Jeff Kreveling going to get a chance to take a snap or two as he checks into the ball game. Kreveling from right here in Gainesville, a walk-on, third-string quarterback for the Gators, gives it to Cedric Faison. And the freshman tailback gets about a yard, and that's it. But he got his first career touchdown on his first career carry, so his day was a productive one. And we'll see if Kreveling gets to throw it in this final minute of the ball game as they check a couple of wideouts in for a tight end and a fullback. Well, the first of what Gators hope will be many victories for Ron Zook. And it came, I think, more easily than most expected. If you looked around the country, just about everyone said it would be closer than you think. And it turned out not to be, unless you thought it was going to be a 50-point game, and it's only 48.
And you got to be impressed with the way that they was able to do it. As you see, Ron Zook getting the shower from the boys for his first victory as the Gator head man.
And you will see him. Ron will hug everybody he sees for the next half hour, with the exception of the guys in the press room. I know he won't be hugging any of those guys. So the Gator coach off to a good start, and of course a much bigger challenge next week. Faison runs it up the middle for about 6 or 7 yards, and that will be the final snap of day one of the Ron Zook era. Oh, I know it wasn't day one. He was hired on January 9th, but for the Zooker, who was a Gator assistant from 91 through 95 and part of 4 SEC championships, this is a very special night as he gets his first victory as a head coach, and a resounding one, a dominant performance against the Blazers of UAB, 51-3. We'll take a short break and then wrap it up from Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. After this timeout, you're watching the Gators on Sunshine.
At Steak and Shake, we're a restaurant. You sit, I serve.
Steak and Shake.
What's going on? I think they're having computer problems. Why don't we ever seem to have computer problems?
Well, we have Dell's. They're super reliable. And if there is a problem, Dell's service and support can get us up and running right away.
That's not fair.
Get the performance and reliability your business needs today and tomorrow with a Dell Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for $699, or Dell Business Notebook starting at just $1199.
Ellen, could we have an occasional computer problem?
Because our computers work, that means we won't be working this weekend.
She's got a point.
Get great deals on Dell Business Systems, like a Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor for $699. Right now, get a free CD burner upgrade on select Dell Business Systems.
So you're gonna be free this weekend then?
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
This game is brought to you in part by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Associated Builders and Contractors, the voice of commercial construction. 3 is our final here at the Swamp. The Gators dominating the UAB Blazers, and Nat Moore, it will be much more difficult next week. Florida, Miami, for the first time in a regular season game in 15 years. That's going to be some kind of build-up and some kind of atmosphere next week.
Well, that's the game that everybody's been putting down on their schedule since it was first put on September 7th, excuse me, and I can't wait.
Career record of 1-0. You can't do any better than that opening night, and the Gators win it by a final score of 51-3. It started out with the new leader leading his charges onto the field. The defense did the job as well. Sunshine Network invites you to tune in for our next edition of Breakfast with the Gators, September 8th at 8 a.m. when they renew a rivalry that hasn't been played in the state of Florida since '87. It's Florida and Miami. For our entire Sunshine Network crew, I'm Larry Battelle. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations to the Zooker. He's got his first one.
Your connection to the Gators is at GatorsOwn.com, the official website of the Florida Gators. Get team rosters, bios, schedules, and statistics, plus audio and video highlights, and of course, the most up-to-date scores and stories on every Gator team. GatorsOwn.com connects you to live broadcasts of every Gator football game, and you can follow every play of every home game with live streaming stats. You can even get game stats emailed to you instantly as soon as the game's over. Get in the Gator Zone today. GatorsOwn.com, the official website of the Florida Gators, hosted by NPINet.
I'm Jimmy Rain, and this is my friend Matthew Murphy. You know, few things in a young person's life are more important than a good college education. That's why the Jimmy Rain Foundation was established, to help raise money for scholarship assistance to deserving young high school seniors like Matthew. It's been said that education is a debt we owe to future generations. Well, the Jimmy Rain Foundation is proud to have made its first installment.
Excuse me, I don't suppose you'd mind jumping me, would you? Oh, excuse me, will you jump me? Will you jump me? Please jump me. Will you jump me? I don't suppose you'd like to jump me.
Thousands of parts, great prices. Discount Auto Parts.
Buy Valvoline all-climate motor oil for just $1.28 a quart. Discount Auto Parts.
I have something to tell you.
You first.
No, you go.
I'm not ready to get married.
Okay.
So, what was your news?
I won the lottery.
$63 million. Think about it this way, man. After taxes, that's only like $28, $30 million.
That's it.
Yeah.
Life is best told over a great tasting Miller Lite at a place called Miller Time.
Shannon? Hey, it's Steve. What's going on?
Get into business with America's oldest and largest shutter manufacturer, All Florida Hurricane Shutters, featuring Magnum Force, the complete line of hurricane protection products. Your customers can receive insurance discounts, comply with building codes, and find real peace of mind. All Florida Hurricane Shutters and the Magnum Force line of hurricane protection products, serving the state of Florida and the Southeast United States since 1954. Call 1-800-HURRICANE or visit our website.
Feel the rush. Feel the impact. Feel the power. It's in the attitude, the adrenaline rush, the overloaded punch. So get ready to rumble. Boxing on Sunshine. Are you feeling it? Striking up the best of the best, bringing on a new sensation in boxing, and it's all right here. Boxing on Sunshine. Are you feeling it?
Steak and Shake Genuine Chili is served in a variety of ways. This one has chili, spaghetti, extra chili beef, special sauce, chopped onions, cheddar, and Monterey Jack cheese, which is why we call it a five-way.
Steak and Shake, famous for steak burger. Home to championship cheerleading. And first in Florida sports, Sunshine Network.